Regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Unrestricted benefits are available until the end of December. Fair usage policy applies.
Get ready for the most incredible cinematic experience of the decade from director Christopher Nolan.
All I have is a word. Tenet. It'll open the right doors, some of the wrong ones too.
It's Bond on acid. Critics are calling it spectacular, epic, a masterpiece. See it on the biggest screen you can.
We're trying to prevent World War III.
Nuclear holocaust?
No, something worse.
Tenet. In cinemas now. Certificate 12A.
Hi, I'm Alan Quinlan. Every day in Ireland, at least one person dies by suicide. For World Suicide Prevention Day on September the 10th, we at Cycle Against Suicide are asking you to team up with us in the fight against suicide. Please join our virtual Bike for Life MKM challenge. 1 million kilometres, raising awareness and promoting suicide prevention. If you can't bike it, then walk or run. Please register now at cycleagainstsuicide.com or text TEAM to 50300 to donate. Thank you.
Text costs €4. Cycle Against Suicide receives a minimum of €3.60. Service provider like charity. Helpline 076 680 5278.
Don't miss our essential guide to Leaving Cert Results Day this Monday, only in the Irish Independent. Packed with essential information and expert advice on calculated grades, offers and alternatives to the CAO, as well as details of a free exam helpline, live Q&A blog and education podcasts, exclusively in the Irish Independent. Real stories worth paying for. Imprint or subscribe at independent.ie.
Missing the buzz of live SSE Airtricity League games? Then we'll bring the greatest league in the world live to you. Get your Watch LOI half-season pass now and stream the remaining crucial games in the SSE Airtricity League season live or on demand. At home, on the go, wherever you are. The Watch LOI half-season pass. Sign up now and watch over 50 games for just €39. Go to watchloi.ie.
Football on Off the Ball.
With Paddy Power. A more electric team-up than Salah and Mane. Gamble responsibly. See dunlewy.net.
And you're welcome back to Off the Ball here on News Talk. John Duggan sitting in for Joe Malloy until 7 o'clock. Now it's time to go back over to the Aviva Stadium for commentary of the Nations League match between the Republic of Ireland and Finland. Can manager Stephen Kenny engineer his first win in his first home game in charge? Our match commentators today, Stuey Byrne and Nathan Murphy.
Straight into our own Naveen, John. Well, he had missed that roar that usually greets the end of the anthem at Lansdowne Road. We are almost ready to go in Stephen Kenny's first home game in charge of the Republic of Ireland. Finland, the visitors for this Nations League clash. And after the draw in Bulgaria on Thursday night, when Ireland need all 3 points today to give themselves a good chance of progressing in the Nations League. But of course, all eyes focused on that playoff in Slovakia, and a real chance today for some players to cement their place in Stephen Kenny's starting 11. None more so than Jason Malumbi, 21 years of age, from Cappoquin in West Waterford, who makes his Irish debut in the heart of the midfield. Shane Duffy once again captains the Republic of Ireland, with Seamus Coleman left among the substitutes. We are almost ready to go. It is the most surreal sight you could imagine. So many great moments at this stadium over the last decade or so. You think of the noise when Shane Long put the ball past Manuel Neuer on that famous victory against Germany. Well, we missed the supporters, and hopefully we get people back very soon. Maybe next summer for the Republic of Ireland at Euro 2020. Ireland all in green, as you would expect, and Finland, the visitors, white jerseys in, well, pretty much a replica of their national flag. We are almost set to go. Our Italian referee is refereeing a game of senior international football for the first time. It is a beautiful evening in Dublin, nice warm evening, don't even need a jacket on. Stephen Kenny not in the suit, got changed after taking in his surroundings for about 15-20 minutes, just wandering up and down the pitch. What a moment it is for Stephen Kenny, side by side with his assistant Keith Andrews. Damien Duff there as well, the Irish team just gathering in a huddle at the moment, some final instructions for this experienced team. And well, as you can hear, you'll be able to hear an awful lot of the conversation.
I think it's hitting me now
between
as well,
the players.
Yeah, it really is. Like, obviously, as soon as it came out of the national anthem, you are expecting that roar, and even the team there went into their regular huddle. You normally get a lift from that. So,
and we are underway. The Republic of Ireland playing from right to left as we look at it. And a very early touch for Sheffield United's Enda Stevens. Aaron Connolly under a bit of pressure there from Al Ho, but Ireland on the front foot right from the start with Robbie Brady, one of 3 changes to the Irish side. We'll run you through the 11 in just a moment, but Ireland midway inside the Finland half on this left-hand touchline. Chance for Robbie Brady to swing in a dangerous ball though, headed clear, and a really positive start from Stephen Kenny's side, headed out for a throw-in just about 7-8 yards in from the end line, just down below our commentary position here, and it'll be taken by Stevens. Throws it to the feet of Brady, back towards Stevens, just can't squeeze his way past the wing back Al Ho, and he manages to fire it clear down into the Irish half. And I'll run you through the 2 starting 11s. Darren Randolph in goal, a back 4 for Ireland of Matt Doherty, Shane Duffy the captain, John Egan and Enda Stevens. A changed midfield of Harry Arter, Jason Malumbi and Robbie Brady, and then the front 3 the same as on Thursday night in Sofia. Callum O'Dowda on the right, Aaron Connolly on the left, and Adam Ida, the 19-year-old, continues through the middle. And for Finland, who were beaten in their opening game by Wales on Thursday night, and have a very experienced goalkeeper, Lukas Hrajki of Bayer Leverkusen. He might be called into action here as Adam Ida has the ball, but he just drifted into an offside position, so it'll be a free kick which Hrajki can take. They're going with a back 3 of Leo Väisänen on the right, Juhani Oyala in the centre, and Daniel O'Shaughnessy, plenty of Irish blood, with a father from Galway. He'll play on the left of the back 3. Nikolai Alho, he's the right wing back, winning just his second cap. Likewise, the left wing back, Nicholas Hamalainen, he's of Queen's Park Rangers, also winning just his second cap. And Ireland on the attack again. In midfield, Dennis Glenn Kamara, Robert Taylor and Tim Sparv, and Timo Pukki joined up front by Joel Poyampalo. Cross from the left again from Robbie Brady, who's been very involved in the very early stages of this game, but he puts it right in on top of the Finnish goalkeeper, who just collects quite comfortably and then rolls it out to O'Shaughnessy.
Harry Arter's gone and sat in where we expected him to do. We felt maybe Lumby could do it as well, but he's gone into the base of that 3.
Egan's under pressure here. Taylor closing down on Egan. Just a bit of miscontrol from John Egan there as the ball was played in from the left-hand side. A sliding tackle to take it away from Robert Taylor. And all he can do is put it behind for a corner kick over on the far side of the pitch for Finland. So an end-to-end start. A lot of energy from both sides right at the beginning of this game, but some defensive work for Ireland to do.
Yeah, early test for the 2 guys as well. I think John Egan was speaking about the goal the other night and felt, himself and Duffy could have been better for us. So that's an early tester for them.
So Taylor will take this corner kick. In swinger. Dangerous ball headed clear by Shane Duffy. O'Shaughnessy was right in behind him, and Duffy just flicked the header to this near side, so it'll be a throw into Finland. They put plenty of bodies forward there. This throw in line with the edge of the Irish penalty area on this right-hand side. And it's going to be thrown in deep by O'Shaughnessy. All the Irish players well back inside their own half. O'Shaughnessy just looking for a few options. And he's going to send this way into the Irish penalty area. Bounces inside the penalty area before headed clear by Doherty. Goes past O'Dowda. Volleyed off the backside of Arter. And there's Kamara, who plays his club football with Rangers, and Ireland come away with the ball. Malumbi, nice little pass up the right hand side to his former under-21 teammate Ida. Very much on the big stage right now though, Malumbi and Ida. Ida sprinting and flying past the defender, pulls it back and cleared back there by Al Ho. And that was brilliant from Adam Ida. First from Jason Malumbi, he brought it forward up the right hand side and backed himself with pace, and he certainly had the Finnish defender for pace, just couldn't pick out a green jersey when the low cross came in.
Yeah, I'd love to see more of that from Adam Ida, but absolutely, you could see his intention from the outset. Malumbi did extremely well in the difficult circumstances, a bit of composure, skipped out of trouble, and nice ball down the right hand side to Ida. But once Ida got the ball, nothing else in his mind but to be direct, using that his power and pace. Like you say, Nathan backed his pace and very, very clearly had the beating of the defender. So love to see an awful lot more of that from him. He's definitely capable.
Yeah, good tempo early on to this game. Still scoreless. Republic of Ireland 0, Finland 0. 4.5 minutes gone, and into Stevens steps over the halfway line, rolls the ball to the feet of Connolly. Bleached highlights for Aaron Connolly, easily recognisable. Stevens again, looking up, looking for options, asked Connolly to come short. Connolly was a little bit slow coming short and well defended by Finland. Driven forward by their captain Tim Sparv. And then Timo Pukki is the victim of a heavy challenge there from John Egan. Egan managed to put out a play for a throw into Finland just in front of their technical area on this near side. Their manager Marco Canavera, very much a national hero after guiding them to their first major finals. Volleyed forward by Sparv off the head of Egan. Looking for a more solid defensive performance tonight, the Republic of Ireland. A little bit all over the shop at times in Sofia against Bulgaria. Now here's Harry Arter.
Different dynamic for them this evening as well. Nathan, Finland playing with basically two up top in Pukki and Poyan Paolo, as opposed to playing against that one up front. So when we do commit players forward, we need to be very, very careful that we've got numbers back to mark those two.
Oh, should have been a free kick there for the Republic of Ireland. Matt Doherty stole in brilliantly to take the ball away from Kamara, who definitely had a tug in his jersey as he was driving through the middle. The referee though allows play to continue, and Finland have it now right in the centre of the pitch. And Sparv just allows Ojala to step forward. And now it's Väisänen playing on the right of the back three. And Sparv put under pressure by Malumbi. So it is that midfield three of Arter at the base, Malumbi just to the right and Brady just to the left. Ireland just letting Finland have it. Now, one thing we know in Ireland in competitive games is never a huge amount of goals in recent times. We'll wait and see if that changes under Stephen Kenny. Brady with an important interception to clear. Finland attacking up the right hand side. Taylor passed one challenge, goes down though there from the tackle from Robbie Brady, holding his knee. Enda Stevens thinks about kicking it out, and eventually he does. It didn't look like there was a huge amount in that challenge.
I didn't think he caught him at all, Nathan. I think he did very well, Taylor. He broke very late, got in behind Brady, and Brady had to get around very, very quickly to get a toe poke on it. But on this particular occasion, it looks like he's just slipped. Feet came from underneath him. He's sort of checked quite quickly. Brady stuck a leg out, I think, but because Brady's kind of gone down as he's turned, he's slipped and he's gone down low. Looks like he's accidentally just kind of caught him on the knee. But I don't think it was a foul. Referee didn't give a foul either.
Yeah, just seemed to lose his balance and maybe twist his knee slightly there. Robert Taylor, English-born father, which explains the name. Plays his club football at the moment with SK Brann in Norway. Just moved there during the summer from Tromsø. Had some time at Nottingham Forest in his father's hometown, but he looks as though he's going to be fine to continue. Ireland again, continuing like they did on Thursday night, dominating possession, getting on the ball, passing it around. Out it goes to the right-hand side to Matt Doherty, a step forward, a loose pass though puts Ireland under pressure, and this is where they were struggling at times when they gave it away. They were under pressure on the counter-attack, just a long ball hoofed forward, which Darren Randolph I think is going to feel confident of letting run out of play. But well, actually that was very similar in some ways to Thursday night. Nice little passage of play, drawing Finland onto them, but then a mistake and looking a little bit open.
Dowd has acknowledged his mistake there, and it was a mistake. It was a very, very simple 10-yard pass to Malumbi. He's left him short. He put him in a bit of trouble. He could have been caught out badly there.
Stephen Kenny not happy, out to the edge of his technical area. Felt that Väisänen went straight through the back of Aaron Connolly. Not too many decisions going in Ireland's favour in these early stages.
It's a different dynamic without the crowd as well. You know, you always wonder sometimes. You'd hear a roar there. Are the referees swayed sometimes by the big roar? I'm not going to get it now.
Yeah, you feel as well. 5 o'clock kickoff on a Sunday. Stephen Kenny's first game in charge. There would have been a big crowd here for this. Kamara finds Taylor. Taylor slides it through. Timo Pukki, chance now for Finland to score. Timo Pukki, oh, brilliant save down low from Darren Randolph. Huge opportunity for Finland to open the scoring. Ireland cut apart at the back again through the two centre halves, and Timo Pukki had plenty of time to think about it. Just try to slide it low past Darren Randolph from 15 yards out, but Randolph managed to save with his left foot. A big let off for Ireland.
Yeah, we're out to get now a jail there, Nathan, big time. I think it was Taylor for Finland. Found himself in a little bit of space, 30 yards out, quite central. Pukki, lovely bit of movement, kind of spun off. Duffy was flat-footed.
Almost a carbon copy of the goal on Thursday night.
No cover from Matt Doherty either, I have to say. You would expect your fullback to be on the cover in that situation, because we had a flat four. Gaps are too big, very, very similar exactly to what the Bulgarian game. Just the distance between fullback, centre half and centre half are just too big. And that's that we've got out of jail. Randolph's been excellent there. He stood up right and big, saved it with his foot. One-on-one situation.
First big chance of the game falls to the visitors, and Timo Pukki was very much the talisman of this Finland side. 25 international goals, and it should have been 26. Plenty of time to think about it. But again, big questions at the back for Ireland, and that's going to be a concern for Stephen Kenny, because the one thing he would have banked on was that Ireland never concede many goals. But they've looked very, very open at times in these open matches. You would have banked on them learning from the other night as well, Nathan. It's nearly a carbon copy of what happened the other night. The old heart rate skipped a few beats there as well. Like, it's very difficult to see if we concede so early. But we've got now a jail. Need to take that as a warning. Tighten up. Yeah, Finland suddenly starting to grow in confidence and stroking the ball around themselves. It's with Johanni Ojala. And he gives it then to Glenn Kamara. On to Sprav, the captain. Ireland starting to press a little bit higher now. Callum O'Dowda closes down O'Shaughnessy, so O'Shaughnessy has to go back to Harajki. And Harajki then out to this right-hand side, the near side, the Finland right. Just about kept in play by Alho. There's a good spell of possession from Finland. And loads of space out in that far side now. Not gaining a huge amount of ground. Ball right on the halfway line. Kamara plays a quick one too with his captain Sparv. And Pukki drops deep, finds a little gap. Been well worked up the pitch from Finland. Pukki has it over by the corner flag on the far side of the pitch. Malumbi has tracked him. Pukki a couple of little step overs, a little bit isolated. Does well though, somehow still holds on to it, Timo Pukki. And then just as he's waiting for the support to come, he plays it straight out of play. But that probably the best spell of possession Finland have had in this game after the best chance of the match so far. It was Robert Taylor just straight in. It is that cliched slide rule ball through the two centre halves. And Darren Randolph comes to the rescue.
Yeah, Malumbi did very well on that occasion. Pukki was spinning them left and right, and he was persistent, stood with him. Ended up forcing Pukki into giving the ball away. But it came off the back of Finland's best spell in the game so far. Good possession play, even though Ireland did try to squeeze high on occasion. They played themselves out of trouble, and at the moment we're a little bit second best.
Now it's opened up a little bit though for Robbie Brady, driving through the centre of the pitch out to the right hand side, and Callum O'Dowda has Ida inside the penalty area, brings it to the edge of the area, little step over from O'Dowda, drills it across low, it's just behind Ida. Not a great clearance still there for Aaron Connolly. 25 yards out, goes back to Arthur, thinks about shooting, left footed shot, he drilled it well, but it's straight at the Finnish goalkeeper. Better from Ireland.
Oh, better, absolutely better. O'Dowda does really well down that right hand side, similar to Ida previously. Takes on his man, throws one leg over, puts in a really good ball just outside the penalty area. I thought Robbie Brady might have taken the chance because it's gone right across the face of the goal. It's come out to Harry Arthur, and we spoke early on in the warm-up that Ireland were practicing having shots from distance. That's exactly what Arthur did. Good strike on target, not like the other night. A couple went over the bar, but on this occasion he's hit the target from 25 yards out and he's worked the goalkeeper, so better from Ireland.
13 minutes gone at an empty Aviva Stadium. Republic of Ireland 0, Finland 0. Finland with the better chance though. Timo Pukki denied by Darren Randolph. Ireland again with a high line and caught out. If you're out and about, and you're planning on heading out and about, you can tune in on the all-new OTB Sports app. And always when we're covering these international games, I know we have a lot of people listening in overseas. If you are listening in away from home, please do get in touch. We'll give you a shout out during the commentary at some stage. Now Ireland again with Ida, just bundled over there by Oyala. And Pukki goes down. However, play continues on this right-hand touchline with Taylor. And Taylor then goes back to Alho. And they're just slowing the tempo and starting to play the game at their own pace, Finland. Again, Ireland pressing right up there towards the halfway line. John Egan in conversation with Enda Stevens. Seems to be a little bit of a lack of trust maybe between the Irish defenders at the moment. It's exactly what they're expected to do.
Egan wants them in tight on the cover. Nathan, and I think he's right. You think just for this particular spell they need to be quite narrow and tight for now. Enda Stevens obviously playing left full. He's worried about Allo, who's playing very, very high and wide on that right hand side. Doesn't need to worry about him. I mean, that's not where the danger is. The danger is central. If there's a long one out wide, he can always get there, but the cover always needs to be central.
Good pressure from Ida, but just out muscled there by Sparv. 76 cap today for Tim Sparv, so vastly experienced central midfielder. And now it comes to Alho on this right hand side. Stevens stood just in front of him, just inside the Irish half. Forward it goes to Pukki, gets there ahead of John Egan, and Pukki flicks it on to Kamara, 25 yards away from the Irish goal. A little bit of space now for Taylor on the edge of the D. Plays a quick one too, squeezed out of it those Robert Taylor, and John Egan's able to clear up towards the halfway line. But Ireland on the back foot at the moment.
Giving them too much space, Nathan. We're not getting to the ball quick enough. Second ball's not quick enough. We're a bit a yard off at the moment, and Finland are very, very good. Taylor looking to get into little pockets, making late runs from midfield, looking to get in behind Enda Stevens. That's a bit of a worry for us now that we're not really in control of this game at the moment, and we need to kind of get our foot back on the ball, get possession back.
And there's obviously a few things going through Stephen Kenny's mind. One is this game that he wants to go and win, but also that match against Slovakia. And if the 4-3-3 doesn't work again today, what does he do for that match in Slovakia? Would he be better suited with a 4-2-3-1 where you have maybe James McCarthy in there alongside somebody with a little bit more energy? Here's Jason Malumbi. Hasn't seen a huge amount of the ball so far, but a nice little layoff to Stevens, and now space in the centre circle for Harry Arter. Back very much in the mix again with the international side. Adam Ida brings it over to the right hand side, over towards the corner flag. Options in the penalty area, support there as well from O'Dowd, and back it goes to Harry Arter. Brady makes a run through the centre. Arter sends it so deep. I'm not sure what he was thinking. He put his foot right through that, and it goes miles over everybody. That was poor.
Yeah, that's poor, really poor from Harry Arter. You expect an awful lot better from him. 30 yards out, just on the corner of the D. Got an opportunity to get a good delivery into the box, just balloons it over. Very interesting, actually. We spoke in the Bulgarian game about Adam Ida, and in the fact that he has to get used to, the players around him and what kind of ball he's going to get off them, and what he wants him to do himself. Because there was a couple of occasions where Enda Stevens has come in from a left foot position. He's made an advanced run in narrow, and he's looking to bounce off Adam, and Adam is making a kind of a run in behind, and they're kind of getting a little bit caught in two minds. And the exact same thing happened just there with Matt Doherty as well, coming in from the right hand side.
Ball deflects off Brady, and Egan goes scurrying back to the end line. Calm little ball then to Stevens, back into Brady, just outside his own area. He gives the ball away, and Finland have it now, but there was a nudge in the back of Robbie Brady by Sparv. Now Ireland get the free kick, and I think they're a little bit fortunate to get that.
Yeah, I thought so as well. There was just a little bit of a loose tackle, wasn't it, from the Finnish player? We were probably in a little bit of trouble again. That sort of willingness to play ourselves out of trouble, that's something that we're going to persist with. Robbie Brady probably a little bit casual on that occasion. But the tempo hasn't been good for me. Not moving the ball as quickly as I feel we should. It's a little bit static.
It's coming down this near side, the Irish left. They're attacking down to our left-hand side. Crossfield ball there from Brady. Controlled on the tie of Matt Doherty. Haven't seen him advance too often, and again, as he does look to advance, his pass isn't good enough as he tried to pick out Jason Malumbi, and it's easily given back to Finland. 18 minutes gone here and off the ball. Ireland 0, Finland 0. Pukki been really involved, good hold-up play, and lays it out to this right-hand side to Alho, into Kamara, and now it's Taylor. Back to Kamara. That midfield three of Kamara, Taylor and Sparv certainly having the best of it so far.
Just looking at Pukki, Nathan, really, really good movement. Hasn't stopped this first 10-15 minutes, dropping in as well, so a bit of confusion whether who goes and picks him up.
Oh, and he again spotted a little bit of space there, and Poyampalo was free. Doherty dashed across quickly to just about get there. If it was a better pass from Pukki, Poyampalo could well have been through. Why are Ireland just so open? Is it a midfield issue or is it a defensive issue?
Yeah, I think Pukki is an issue. He's obviously he's kind of dropping into midfield. I don't know whether Duffy and Egan want one of the midfielders to go and pick him up. I think one of the centre halves need to probably go in and mark him. He's definitely causing trouble. On that occasion, he should have definitely put the other guy in, because he's just clearly got in behind Matt Doherty, and we are definitely a little bit erratic at the moment. There's a lot of confusion as well about he's Enda Stevens on that occasion. He's looking to bounce something off Aaron Connolly, and Aaron's looking for something in behind. So decision making is a little bit erratic. The continuity that we had the other night, not there at the moment.
Throw into Ireland just inside the Finland half. I tell you, it's nice to play somebody else. We seem to spend our life playing Bulgaria and Wales and Denmark. 18 years since Ireland last played Finland, a friendly. It was the first game after the 2002 World Cup. A 3-0 win. Robbie Keane, Colin Healy and Graham Barrett, and everybody thought, we'll never miss Roy Keane.
Robbie Keane, we could do with him now.
To go all the way back to 1949 for the last time these two sides met in a competitive international. Now Malumbi over on the right hand side. What sort of delivery can he come up with? Well, he didn't need to because O'Shaughnessy was out quickly and just toe poked it behind for a corner kick. That of course is where the goal came from on Thursday night from Shane Duffy, and Duffy slowly steps forward wearing that captain's armband. John Egan is going to go up as well. Duffy, one of just 3 Irish players to have scored an international goal. He has 4 of them. Matt Doherty has 1 and Robbie Brady has 8, so they could do with a few more finding their feet. It is Brady over there. He goes short this time, surprisingly. Back they go to Robbie Brady, drills it in on top of the goalkeeper, and well, you would wonder, considering the success they had on Thursday night, why you would go short. And well, it was obviously something tried from the training ground, but it really didn't come off.
Yeah, Finland had pulled everyone back for the corner, and obviously Brady found himself in loads of room. This is worrying now because if goalkeepers just...
Well, Timo Pukki with the shot, he swung his foot at it from the edge of the area, didn't get a connection, and it went low and just trickled along the ground into the arms of Dan Randolph. But as you say, it was just very straightforward, nothing too difficult for Finland to cut Ireland open again.
We're not getting to the pitch of the ball at all, Nathan. We really aren't. You know, there's a little bit of confusion in there. That midfield 3, I think, at the moment, because that's where the problem areas are. Finland are very good through the centre. You've got Taylor's making a lot of runs. Pukki is dropping in as well. We just don't seem to be able to cope with that movement at this moment in time.
Alho again, he's seen a lot of the ball. That's a dangerous pass in. And Shane Duffy stretches that long right leg and gets there ahead of Poyampalo and puts it behind for another corner kick.
That was dangerous delivery, wasn't it, from Alho, looking for Amhalainen coming in from the left-hand side, making that run, that diagonal run from deep. On that occasion, Doherty had marked him quite well. He matched his run, but Duffy taking no chances, stretching that long leg of his, just intercepting.
And near the midway point of the first half here at the Aviva Stadium, still scoreless. Corner kick will be taken by Taylor for Finland, and it was won in there by a Finnish player, but headed straight over the top of the crossbar by Ojala.
I feel the Finns will be definitely have a threat from set pieces. That's the second or third corner they had. The delivery is very, very good from Taylor. On that occasion, it was a free header, a bit too easy for my liking.
And Stephen Kenny stood on his technical area, and he won't be impressed with that because Darren Randolph has just fired the ball straight over the head of Enda Stevens. Poyampalo and Pukki both right up in the edge of the Irish area, so he couldn't go short. And Darren Randolph just couldn't pick out the pass. It sort of sums up the opening stages of this game. It hasn't been particularly good from the Republic of Ireland, but still scoreless.
Throw-in's a threat. He's got a hell of a throw, O'Shaughnessy, just like a corner kick. You can see that.
I think he grew up worshipping Rory Delap, thinking, oh, someday.
My hero.
It is sent in. Wow, that must have gone 40 yards there from O'Shaughnessy, straight into the arms in the end by Randolph. And again, it's just a bit slow from Ireland as they're looking to get out. He rolls it to Harry Arter, who's in that pivot position in the middle of the midfield 3 for Ireland. Along the ground then to this near side to Stevens. Stevens wasn't happy with the options in front of him, so he goes back.
That's exactly
to John Egan.
That's definitely where our problem is at the moment. We're getting the ball away early to Matt Doherty and Stevens. It's the options from there, it just isn't happening. You know, whether it be Ida dropping in or Callum O'Dowd or O'Connelly either, you know, vice versa. The guys are just receiving the ball, they're getting the head up, but there's no one to give it to, and it's just slowing everything down.
Ireland made some progress up the right hand side for once with Matt Doherty, and Callum O'Dowd was tackled, so it's a throw in. Here is O'Dowd over by the right hand touchline on the far side of the pitch. Malumbi, little triangles there with Doherty as well. O'Dowd left foot cross in, headed clear back there by O'Shaughnessy. Good powerful header as far as Egan, and Egan quickly to his Sheffield United teammate Enda Stephen. Now here's Brady. Brady to Connolly. He's been quiet so far, Aaron Connolly, as he drifts out to this left-hand side. Support there from Stevens. Options in the area. Cross from Stevens just over the head of Ida. And it'll go all the way out to the far side. Matt Doherty won't be able to keep it in, so it'll be a throw into Finland.
Yeah, I think O'Shaughnessy he might have done just enough there on Ida. It was a good delivery from Enda Stevens. Worked it well down this left-hand side. I think O'Shaughnessy might have just got a little hand on him. Just held his shirt a little bit just to stop any momentum in his jump. Better from Ireland, but you feel at this moment in time that I'd like to see Connolly and O'Dowd maybe not be as high up. I think they're a little bit too easy to mark at the moment. They're kind of pushing high up on that finish, back three or back four, whatever it is at the moment, and a little bit too easy to mark for me. I'd like to see Connolly maybe come deep, ask a question of the fullback. Does he want to come and mark me or does he not?
We've seen a lot more crosses from Ireland so far in this game than we did on Thursday night. I know Mick McCarthy on commentary for Sky was saying they just need to get it in there. We've certainly seen that so far. Now, coming down this right hand side again, Alho, chance to get the cross in, sends it in. Duffy's there, he misses the header though, and then it's volleyed wide, well wide in the end by Puyen Palo. But Alho's causing Ireland all sorts of problems down this right wing, getting acres of space. It was a decent ball. Duffy missed the header, and a first time volley from Puyen Palo, and he just sliced it miles to the right and wide.
Puyen Palo's had time to have a cup of tea there. I mean, the deliveries come in, you're expecting someone to get to the pitch at the cross early, but you can see he's got time to get himself set, and he's got a volley off. No real tackling. Just not getting to the pitch of it. Not getting to the second balls. Not getting to the pitch of the ball. Not anticipating where the ball is going to go. You know, just very, very static at the moment.
Adamida doesn't win the header. Allo over the top for Taylor inside the area on the right hand side. Duffy didn't need a second invitation though to put his head through it, and heads it behind for a corner kick, and he looks a little bit frustrated of some of what's going on. There's a total lack of cohesion so far from Ireland. They're struggling to connect the back four to the midfield three and the front three, and another corner kick for Finland, who've certainly been the better team in this opening 26 minutes. Republic of Ireland 0, Finland 0 here and off the ball. Nathan Murphy and Stuey Byrne with you. And our full live commentary, we're on air through till 7 o'clock. Taylor's corner kick goes very, very deep this time, and Ireland should have a chance to clear O'Dowd with the backwards header up towards the halfway line. And picked up by Hämäläinen, sent in long towards Väisänen on this near side, but it was over his head, and it'll be a goal kick to Ireland. This is one of the areas where they're trying to do something different. They're trying to play it out short like so many of the modern teams do, but they look a little bit nervy. You can see Robert Taylor pushing right up in Harry Arter on the edge of the D, and they're almost looking to the sideline to see what they should do when this is happening.
Well, this is part of what we spoke about before the game, Nathan. They've obviously watched us, and they're going to try and stop us playing. They're going to make life difficult for us. Nothing wrong with that. They've done their
lovely touch there from Jason Malumbi. A little flick, and he's fouled as he did just that, so it'll be a free kick to Ireland. Adamida put enough pressure on the centre half this time. Yeah, so what's happening is Darren Randolph, who is again talking there with Alan Kelly. Randolph is obviously on the edge of a 6-yard box. He has Shane Duffy and John Egan either side of him about 5 yards away. Harry Arter on the edge of the D, but Pukki and Puyen Palo pushing right up. So there's no real option to go short, and he's sort of wondering now, where do I go if I'm going to go long? And he just fired it on top of Adamida that time.
He was nervous, wasn't he, to kind of clip one over Pukki's head to Enda Stevens, because he's made that mistake earlier on. He overcooked the one he tried earlier on, and maybe a little bit nervous to do again, but he shouldn't. You need to be brave. If you make a mistake, make amends for it and try it again.
Now Duffy steps up over the halfway line. Ireland need to inject a little bit of pace in the game. Forward to the feet of Ida, gets there ahead of the centre back. Good hold up play again from the 19-year-old. Enda Stevens at pace, bringing it forward to the feet then of Aaron Connolly on this near side, the Irish left. Back to Robbie Brady. Little pass to Stevens. And the 1-2 back to Brady just doesn't come off, but Finland don't clear their lines. Harry Arter has it now on this left-hand side. A little bit static and wondering where to go. Goes back to Stevens, and now Jason Malumbi sees the space and drills the ball onto the chest of Matt Doherty. Smashing ball, one of the best of the game so far from an Irish player, from Malumbi. Doherty cuts back inside to Arter. Arter has to go back to the halfway line to Duffy.
What a ball that was from Malumbi. He was effectively marked, Matt Doherty. High risk ball, but he drilled it in with real pace. Shot a lot of confidence.
Now Ida, maybe a chance to turn, because every time he's got it, both tonight and on Thursday night with his back to goal, he's ended up going backwards. You'd love to see him just spin the centre half. Didn't quite happen from that time, as Finland managed to clear their lines, and Duffy will get another goal. But this is a little bit better from Ireland and a little bit more pace. More players eager to get on the ball and try and make something happen as we head for the half-hour mark, and some dark clouds start to come in over the Aviva Stadium. Pitch is in okay condition, I would say, considering the rugby on Friday night. This near side, obviously, must have been a few scrums just in front of the technical area. Looks a little bit bare. Kieran Boyle listening in online. He's in a hot and humid Florida.
Sounds nice, Nathan.
Someday, Stewie. Someday. Now Connolly, ball just behind him from Brady, and back over the top for Connolly to chase down. Looks to put some pressure on Alho, but a little nudge in the back from the Galwegian, and gives away a cheap free kick, and it'll be a chance for Finland to clear their lines.
Yeah, a little frustrating pushing the back from Aaron Connolly. You have to give credit to Alho there. He showed pace, tenacity, just to match the run of Connolly when the ball was played in behind him from Enda Stevens. Gets his body in front and doesn't need to do it. Connolly, silly foul to give away, especially in those areas.
Just his second cap, Nikolai Alho. He's 27, playing his club football in Finland with HJK, and he's been one of their better players so far. Dowda's control, a heavy touch as he came to this near side, and he's out of position, and now there is space over on the far side of the pitch for Hämäläinen. We haven't seen a lot of him. Almost everything has come down this right hand side for Finland. O'Shaughnessy drills it into the feet of Pukki. Little layoff, but onto the head of Malumbi, who calmly heads it back to Matt Doherty. Ida wants it played down along the right hand touchline. Smashing ball from Matt Doherty. Adam Ida is a little bit isolated over there. He's dragged Oyala with him. Needs some support over on the right hand touchline. Bringing it towards the edge of the area. A couple little step overs from Ida. Sends the cross in, sends it deep. Connolly, it comes short though, goes over his head. And can Harry Arter keep it in play on this near side? It's Robbie Brady. Brady, space now for Enda Stevens. 25 yards out. Floats a little ball to the back post towards Ida. Headed clear, and then helped up towards the middle of the Finnish half, where Harry Arter gets a header in, but only as far as the white jersey of a Finland player. Duffy, powerful header forward, straight onto the chest of Aaron Connolly. Connolly though muscled out of it. Almost falls for O'Dowda. Finland get it over to the left-hand side to Hämäläinen. That was much, much better from Ireland.
Better from Ireland, yeah. A little bit more direct. Lovely ball down that right-hand side to Ida, which we saw earlier on in the game. Ida loves to get his head up, doesn't he? Loves to kind of look his opponent in the eye and have a good go at him, especially in 1v1 situations.
Well, now they could be in here, and the flag eventually goes up against Taylor. It was a bit scrappy there. Harry Arter put in a strong sliding challenge, but the ball ricocheted off one of his teammates and very nearly fell in Finland's favour, but the run had been made just a little bit too early. Matt Doherty caught out again, and well, it was the ball of the game maybe so far by Matt Doherty up along that right-hand touchline. You could see Adam Ida pointing to where he wanted it, and he threaded through the eye of a needle, Doherty, to get there. But the question I guess with Doherty, again, when watching this, is defensively, would Coleman be a better option? Because an awful lot of the chances are coming in that axis there between Doherty and Duffy, and it was interesting reading Gary Breen in the paper today saying that what makes Doherty good exposes the weakness of Duffy, and Stephen Kenny's going to need to try and get that balance.
Yeah, he looked relieved there on that occasion. I think it was Hämäläinen who again had come from a wide position and got in behind him. He sort of threw a laboured offside hand up, didn't he? Like, you know, looked a little bit sort of, he knew he was in trouble, but lucky for us we got the offside. But I think Taylor's causing us real trouble. Number 8 for Finland, Nathan. He's making a lot of late runs from midfield. Malumbi and Arter look like they're a little bit confused as to who's going to go and pick him up. Plenty of move from him, because what he's doing is Pukki is dropping in and he's sort of getting in behind, and there's good movement in that area of the pitch. We haven't got to grips with it yet.
Connolly out to this near side, been urged on by his teammates to put some pressure on Väisänen. Väisänen goes back to Harajki. And the ball in the sunshine here at the Aviva Stadium with Finland. They're attacking down to our right hand side, but it's given away straight onto the chest of Enda Stevens. Stevens slides it through to Ida. Ida gets it back to Brady. A little bit of a heavy touch. It might work out though for Ireland, just outside the Finland penalty area. Brady drifting to his left, goes back inside to Arter, and Arter along the ground then to the feet of Stevens on this left hand touchline. Brady looked for the return pass from Stevens. Instead it's given to Connolly. Brady steps away from one challenge, under pressure, and just easily pushed off it by Kamara. He's a little bit
stronger.
Weak there, Robbie Brady, and that allows Finland to come on the counter attack. It's with Hämäläinen. Bombing forward over on the left-hand side. Pukki just lost his footing, but so too did Duffy. Pukki picks himself up and gives it over to Hämäläinen. Sends the cross in. Oh, and again the volley missed by Hyöjän Palo. That half volley isn't really his forte, it turns out, but another dangerous ball, and the ball right on the line there, and Robbie Brady goes straight through Glenn Kamara there and manages to do enough to put it out for a throw-in, and it will be a Republic of Ireland ball.
Lucky enough, I think that cross just got a little deflection off Matt Doherty, just did enough to put Hämäläinen off his volley. But again, a worrying sign for Ireland in the fact that Brady gets, physically just gets done out of it by Alho. Too easy for me, but the swiftness of that finished break, because we look a little bit short in that midfield area. They played right through us, getting crosses into the box, and on that particular occasion, lucky that they didn't get a strike away.
Noah Dowda, who's starting to pop up more on this left-hand side. Maybe a bit of a free roll in the last few minutes. Can't get on the end of that ball forward, and it'll be a throw-in again to Finland, and they're just slowing things down. It's right down in front of our commentary position here at the Aviva Stadium. 10 minutes to go until half-time, and still scoreless. The best chance of the half fell to Timo Pukki on 10 minutes when he was put clear through, almost a carbon copy of the goal that Bulgaria scored on Thursday night, but this time Darren Randolph saved down low. Ireland have had a couple of half chances. Harry Arter with a shot from distance. Lots of good play around the edge of the area, but again lacking a cutting edge. And that is going to be one of the narratives, I guess, around this side as to where the goals are going to come from in the upcoming games. Now, John Egan, what a colossal season he had at the centre of the defence for Sheffield United, and just winning his 10th cap for Ireland today, John Egan. This is just his 5th competitive start. At 27 years of age, he's going to get a lot more, you feel, over the coming years. Wouldn't be surprised if he was the next full-time Ireland captain. And this time Connolly does well. He manages to draw the foul out of Alho. Ireland take it quickly though. Stevens, though, probably didn't want it. Found himself totally isolated out here. They should have just taken their time, and a little bit rushed from Ireland at the moment.
I think he wanted to just get a cross in, didn't he? When Arter did very well to take it quickly. Enda's got space on this left-hand side. Just get it out of your feet and get that early cross in, because we've got Finland on the back foot. They're moving back towards their goal. That's always the most, that's a ball that defenders hate. But looked a little bit, Enda was looking for someone to play off. Be a little bit more direct.
A few words between Robbie Brady and Enda Stevens there. There's not much movement for Ireland. Brady sort of throwing his arms up in the air at the moment. Seems a little bit unhappy with life. Seems to get his head down and getting the ball. He's probably say out of position at the moment. John Egan. And he invited trouble there, Brady. Oh, and there was a crunching tackle, but it works out and Brady comes clear. 20 yards out. Oh, a heavy touch. He looked up and didn't pick out his pass, and that allowed Alho to slide in and win the ball back for Finland. That wasn't great from Robbie Brady either. Just seems to have lost his concentration in the last couple of minutes. He got away with one there. There was a 50-50 ball that you could see if it went wrong for either player, there was probably going to end up in a red card. It worked out in Ireland's favour. Space opened up for Brady 25 yards out, and he either needed to take the shot or take the pass, and he ended up getting caught in two minds and taking a heavy touch, and that allowed Alho to win the ball with the sliding tackle.
That's what I thought, Nathan. I think he's gone in with his studs there a little bit. The Finnish player's done very well. He's come in strong, and maybe that's the reason he's gotten away with it, but just a lack of concentration. Yeah, I mean, I felt even from Egan, he was a little bit sloppy. He gave Brady a little bit of a hospital pass. We got a little bit lucky. He's able to roll the oncoming defender, but it's all a little bit sloppy at the moment.
And Stevens can't pick out the run forward of Connolly, putting the pressure on over by the corner flag and right over the top of the Finland player, and it is a free in. And the Finnish player can't quite believe it. It was Väisänen who was on his hunkers, down on his hands and knees, and Connolly was just going right in all over the top of him, but there was no attempt at all by the Finland defender to actually play the ball, and Connolly gets the free kick. It's almost a corner kick. It is right down by the corner flag to our left-hand side, in front of the small stand, as we call it here at the Aviva Stadium. And it'll be Robbie Brady to take it. Shane Duffy, as you would expect, is forward. I think this time they're just going to whip it in.
Finland have brought everyone back here again. You can have a look at Harry Arter, left-footed. I wonder is it on for a little pullback.
Brady goes straight in. This time Egan goes up, and Egan gets there but heads it over the top of the crossbar. However, Väisänen was under it as well, and it came off the Finnish defender's head last, and it'll be a corner kick this time to Ireland over on the far side of the pitch. Republic of Ireland 0, Finland 0. 38.5 minutes gone here on Off the Ball. 53106 is the text number, at Off the Ball on Twitter if you want to get in touch. If you have any thoughts on the performance so far.
This doesn't help either, Nathan. No ball boys to get the ball out, so you can see Brady's, he's had to run 20 yards in the wrong direction to get the ball, and it's all kind of slowing everything down. No real momentum in the game. I think this is a real threat for us. We have to get, make sure the delivery is very, very good. Set pieces is obviously something that very important for us.
Now corner kick from Robbie Brady. Sent in left-footed, sent in very deep, and Duffy goes to ground, and the referee waves it away though. And Shane Duffy not happy.
Yala was marking him. Found himself on the wrong side, because as the deliveries come in, Duffy's gotten in front of him. Ayala's on his back. Don't know whether there was much contact, but there is a little bit of holding in the box for corners. Ayala on that occasion was voicing him previously on John Egan. So,
and now it's Finland playing it around at the back. Good sweeping pass over to the left hand side by Harajki. Ireland pressing high. Game now taking on more of a familiar pattern from Ireland, quite similar to Thursday night, where they having a lot of the ball and still looking a little bit open on the counter attack. Here they are again. Alho somehow comes to Pookie, even though it was behind his intended target. Matt Doherty gets across quickly, and now Malumbi has a little bit of space, plays a short pass forward to Brady. Brady been closed down quickly by Poyen Palo, manages to turn his body and with the outside of his boot plays it to this near side to Stevens. It's a little bit pedestrian again from Ireland.
For some reason Anna Stevens didn't want to give that to Aaron Connolly. It's like all of a sudden there's a mistrust has suddenly developed between the two of them. It's a simple 10-yard pass. He's under pressure and it doesn't want to give it him. He's checked back inside. That's a bit of a worry.
Here is Jason Malumbi. He hasn't done nothing wrong so far, Malumbi, though the midfield have struggled to assert themselves on top of a experienced Finnish midfield. Now Malumbi over the top for Adamida, but too much on that. Didn't give his former 21's teammate any chance at all, and it just rolls out of play for a goal kick to Finland, which they take quickly.
Knew at the minute he hit it as well that he's overcooked it. Need better in that position. It's not a difficult ball for a player of his calibre. There's a little 25-yard pass over the head of the fullback. It's a good run from Ida, but
they do seem to have changed the midfield shape at the moment, with Malumbi in the centre, Arthur just going to the right, and Brady just going to the left. See if that changes things and helps Ireland win back some supremacy in that part of the pitch. Alho gives it away, and here is Malumbi onto it in a flash again. Goes past one challenge, loses out to the second, left his boot in. He feels there should have been a free kick there. I think he might have been lucky to get away with one. Now opens up again for Arthur as Finland give it away. Brady takes it off him. Not sure why Brady needs to take it off him, and then plays a ball in front of Matt Doherty. That is shocking from Robbie Brady, and he has not had a good 15 minutes, Robbie Brady. His head just seems a little bit all over the place.
It's awful.
Harry Arthur, could have just taken that ball and strode forward another 15 yards, but for some reason Robbie Brady took it off him and then plays it straight out of play.
Don't need that at the moment. That's really poor from him, though, I have to say. We need to keep things simple. Try and stick to the game plan. Try and get back to this possession game that we're supposed to be playing. We're just very erratic at the moment. There's no continuity between the players. There's moving the ball too slowly. I think the problem for me, I feel at the moment in that midfield, is that because the Finns are playing two up front, Pookie is moving all over the place. He's dropping into that deep midfield role area that's been occupied by either Harry Arthur or Malumbi. He's causing confusion because he's attracting that deep midfielder away, and Taylor's making runs in behind. And you can see now that they're struggling to cope with him. There's Pookie on the ball again.
He's done it again. He just spins off John Egan.
10 yards of space, Nathan. No one near him.
Now Kamara has space in the centre circle. Malumbi forward quickly to cover, and now it's Taylor. Midway inside the Irish half. As Pookie, if he wants to go short, instead gives it to Alho on this right hand side, but the ball is
even on that occasion
too heavy.
Taylor's picked the ball up 45 yards out. He's gotten torn. He's got 10 yards of space. No one's closing him down. He's ran at Arthur. Arthur just backed off. It's a free run. Just giving him a free run. Get tight.
Throw in deep inside their own half for Ireland. Enda Stevens plays the ball with the outside of his left foot across his own penalty area to Duffy, who then releases Doherty. Now Ireland need to get forward with a bit of pace. Again, it's just a little bit slow. Doherty looking for options. Ida wants it in behind, plays it in towards Adamida, but it's straight onto the head of Oyala. He heads it out to the left hand side, and it's smashed forward on the volley by Hamalainen. Doherty's underneath it, just flicks it back towards Duffy, and Duffy let it run back to his goalkeeper, Darren Randolph. Just over a minute to go of this first half, which has by and large been somewhat forgettable. A lot of the focus again, I guess, is going to come on the midfield three. Is it the tactical setup that doesn't enable them to get on the ball a bit more and create a few chances?
No, I think it's a different dynamic to the Bulgaria game. I think because the Finns are playing with two up front, that midfield, that's deep midfielder, Harry Art at the moment, is getting too preoccupied by either one of the two Finnish centre forwards. More than often, it's Pukki is the one who's dropping in. His movement is very, very good, I have to say. So the communication just has to be better. It's a difficult thing to do as a midfielder when you've got somebody constantly coming in over your left or right shoulder, dropping in front of you. But you just have to play the game on the turn. You can't be flat. Play the game on the turn with your head, get side on. Be a little bit more aware of what's around you. But because he's dropping in deep, Pukki, then Taylor's getting a run in behind him. Again, another sloppy interchange of passes between Doherty and Malumbi. But I have to forget for me, because this is nothing like the performance the other night.
Yeah, Doherty hasn't had a huge amount in this first half. Malumbi's probably been the best of the midfield three. There's been that bit of energy about him. And it'll be interesting to see what Stephen Kenny does as this half rolls on. Is there another way that he can get in before this game finishes up in the final warm-up of the match against Slovakia? But as we've been saying, as the half-time whistle goes, a very forgettable 45 minutes here at the Aviva Stadium. Republic of Ireland 0, Finland 0. Finland had the best chance of the half on 10 minutes when Timo Pukki was put clear through on goal, but his side-footed shot was saved by the feet of Darren Randolph. Ireland have had some spells of possession. They've had some half chances, shots from Harry Arthur, plenty of crosses as well, but it's hard to remember Lukas Hradecki making a save in that Finland goal. Plenty to ponder then for Stephen Kenny as the Irish players trudge off at half-time. At the break in this Nations League clash, it is the Republic of Ireland 0, Finland 0. Second half commentary to come.
Yeah, thanks Nathan and Stuart. Be interested to see what the team talks like at half-time with Stephen Kenny and his charges. Back for second half commentary of the Republic of Ireland and Finland in the Nations League shortly from the Aviva Stadium. Plenty going on in the world of sport. We'll catch up on all of it with Neil Tracy and give you the answer to our heritage competition next.
Football on Off the Ball
with Paddy Power. More confident than United before a Europa League final. Gamble responsibly. See dunlewy.net.
Today, there are 79.5 million people worldwide who've been forced to flee their homes, travelling days and weeks to find safety, often on foot.
This September, News Talk and Concern Worldwide want you to show your support and step in their shoes.
By lacing up your runners and walking 10,000 steps a day between September 21st and 27th, starting on World Peace Day.
You can do it however and wherever you like, around the house, in the garden or out and about.
And every cent you raise will fund life-saving programmes in some of the world's poorest countries.
Follow our journey on air and find out more at newstalk.com/step in their shoes.
At Volkswagen Financial Services, our solutions are expertly engineered to put you in the driving seat. Choose the flexibility of PCP, low-cost HP finance, or the convenience of leasing. Add extras like servicing and maintenance plans. For Volkswagen, Audi, Skoda, Seat, or Volkswagen commercial vehicles, discover financing options that match your needs and your budget. Talk to your local dealer or visit vwfs.ie/affordability. Volkswagen Financial Services. Affordability engineered for you. Finance provided by Volkswagen Financial Services Ireland. Subject to lending criteria. Terms and conditions apply.
Secure remote working is the future. My Virtual Workspace provides enterprise-class IT solutions to non-enterprise companies for a set monthly fee. Enterprise Solutions, a Citrix Platinum partner, enables flexible work styles using My Virtual Workspace. For a free desktop-as-a-service assessment, go to myvirtualworkspace.ie.
Discover the Bosch laundry range at Power City. Achieve perfect washing results thanks to the Bosch Intelligent Dosing System IDOS. Now with a free 5-year warranty. For more information, go to powercity.ie.
Don't miss our essential guide to Leaving Cert Results Day this Monday, only in the Irish Independent. Packed with essential information and expert advice on calculated grades, offers and alternatives to the CAO, as well as details of a free exam helpline, live Q&A blog and education podcasts, exclusively in the Irish Independent. Real stories worth paying for. Imprint or subscribe at independent.ie.
If you're a business that's rebuilding after the impact of COVID-19, there's a lot to be done. Stabilising cash flow, adapting your operations, and innovating to meet new customer needs. Enterprise Ireland can help kickstart your recovery with a new funding package, which now includes up to €200,000 as a non-repayable grant. This funding is time limited, so contact our Business Response Unit to begin your application. For full information and conditions, visit enterpriseireland.com/COVID. Supported by the Government of Ireland.
This place has borne witness to the birth and rebirth of our nation, to the triumphs and tribulations that have made us what we are today. This place is where our finest writers, thinkers, and entertainers have found their words read and their voices heard, and where countless generations have come to learn, to discover, to read, and be inspired. This place is Eason, Ireland's favourite bookseller since 1886, inspiring and engaging minds of all ages through the best of times, the worst of times, and as we face the next chapter together for all our times to come. So join us in store at your local Eason or online at easons.com. Eason, be inspired.
Missing the buzz of live SSE Airtricity League games? Then we'll bring the greatest league in the world live to you. Get your Watch LOI half-season pass now and stream the remaining crucial games in the SSE Airtricity League season live or on demand, at home, on the go, wherever you are. The Watch LOI half-season pass. Sign up now and watch over 50 games for just €39. Go to watchloi.ie.
At National College of Ireland, our students are living proof that studying here can help boost your career.
I really wanted to do a master's that would get me a job, and something that NCI advertised on their open day was their really high employment rate after college.
I'm sure the MBA was crucial in my getting a big promotion at work.
It gives you an opportunity to step back into learning and to make a real change in your life. I think that NCI gave me a real pathway to success.
It changed my life, literally changed my life.
Prove to yourself what you can do with our wide range of full and part-time courses at National College of Ireland. Call 1850 221 721 or visit ncirl.ie.
Get ready for the most incredible cinematic experience of the decade from director Christopher Nolan.
All I have is a word. Tenet. It'll open the right doors, some of the wrong ones too.
It's Bond on acid. Critics are calling it spectacular, epic, a masterpiece. See it on the biggest screen you can.
We're trying to prevent World War III.
Nuclear holocaust.
No, something worse.
Tenet. In cinemas now. Certificate 12A.
Afternoons are easy with InsureMyVan.ie, Ireland's low-cost van insurance specialist. Get your business back on the road with InsureMyVan's best price guarantee. For super savings, visit InsureMyVan.ie. City Financial Marketing Group Limited, training as InsureMyVan.ie, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Off the ball. This is News Talk.
And you're welcome back to Off the Ball here on News Talk, where it's the Republic of Ireland 0, Finland 0 at half-time in the Nations League match. Back to the Aviva Stadium for second half commentary with Nathan Murphy and Stuey Byrne very shortly. Now, congratulations to Una Moore in Dublin. You knew that Winged Foot is the course just outside New York City that will host the US Open Golf Championship later this month. You and a guest, Una, have won a luxurious overnight golf break at the Heritage. For more information on the fantastic golf breaks available at the Heritage or to book, visit theheritage.com. Neil Tracy back for a mini news round. Neil, I think I'd like to be a fly on the wall watching Stephen Kenny there at half-time in the dressing room.
Yeah, just needs energy, doesn't it? Fans would bring that energy, I suppose, is the correct thing as well. But it hasn't necessarily been bad. It's just been dull and kind of uneventful. And I would say both teams in that kind of second gear where they're almost waiting for someone else to do something that'll force them to do something. And it's just kind of, there have been a couple of occasions like that Teemu Pukki chance just flashed up in front of us there on the TV here in the studio to see it again. Probably the best of the half. And it has looked at times Ireland's defence a little bit open, quite high of a line. So, we saw it exploited as well on Thursday evening against Bulgaria. It probably is a little bit of a worry. I think overall though, just the urgency would be more of a worry, I would think.
The lack of zip.
The lack of zip. Like they're, possession-wise, it's going fine. But the final ball, just kind of creating
disjointed.
Things. Yeah.
Like, obviously, Stephen Kenny hasn't had much time to work with these players. But as I said to Stuey Byrne earlier on, this is the audition. This is the chance. We have a new midfield tonight. But this is only the last game before Slovakia. And that's a concern, I think,
It's shadow boxing, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah. And I do think, like, to be fair to the players, I do think if they had 50,000 people there, if it was Stephen Kenny's first game, the tributes to Jack Charlton, the national anthem we heard there on air with nobody there, I do think it would make a difference. It would give players a shot of adrenaline. Look, they got a professional job to do, but we definitely need to see better in the second half.
Yeah, certainly do. So, as we said, 0-0 at the moment at the Aviva Stadium. In the same group, John, Wales beat Bulgaria 1-0 to move 5 points clear at the top. That's 2 wins out of 2 for them in this Nations League campaign. Nico Williams scoring the late goal for Wales. And we can hear now from their victorious manager, Ryan Giggs.
Yeah, I mean, we kept going, which was the main thing. It wasn't easy. We played 2 teams where they're into the season, far fitter than us, but like I say, we kept going, kept playing the football, and it was probably our best move of the match, which resulted in the goal. And Nico, he come on the other night, was fantastic, and it was the same tonight.
He was saying he wished he would slow down. He can't quite remember what's happened to him. What kind of player is he? How useful can he be for you now going forward, showing you what he's done over these last 2 games?
I mean, he's got loads of quality. He's got confidence in his ability, and he's a great lad. He's brought new energy to the group, and he showed that in both his little cameos in both the games. I was umming and ahhing whether to start him today because of the performance that he put on the other days, but to come on and not only his goal but his overall play was fantastic, so delighted for him.
You mentioned some frustration. What did you change at half-time? Because there was a noticeable increase in pace and energy.
Yeah, I mean, it's to be expected. It was a little bit dead first half. After the game the other day, it was tough physically, and then to go again, it's not easy. And like I say, we played, the Finns are a month into their season, the Bulgarians are a month into their season, so they're ahead of us physically. So I felt that we didn't keep the ball well enough, the tempo wasn't good enough, and we didn't show confidence on the ball. And once we did that, we were a lot better second half without creating anything. But you've got to give credit to the opposition as well. They defended well and made it difficult for us.
Got to play Wales again.
I'd actually forgotten about it until Thursday night. When it was coming around, and I was, flicking around before the Ireland match, and I saw obviously the other game that was on at the same time was Wales against Finland, and it just hit me at that moment. I honest to God, I did oh my God, I'd forgotten we have to play Wales again twice more, not just play them once again. I did see someone, Gavin Cooney, I think in the 42, making a good joke that I think Denmark for yesterday's Nations League game, can't even remember who they were playing against. They had something like 3 hours of build-up on Danish TV for this Nations League game. And as Gavin Cooney pointed out, maybe they were actually just celebrating the fact that they were going to be able to show a game that wasn't against the Republic of Ireland.
Yeah, very good. Other matches tonight?
Yeah, well, just moving to Gaelic games, GA is expected to confirm this week that the All-Ireland Senior Hurling Championship will begin on October 24th. That's according to a report in the Sunday Times today. They say the GA's management committee will meet this Friday to rubber stamp the return of inter-county action. Football Championship is due to start a week later on Halloween weekend, but the hurling final, as we know, to take place on December 13th, with the football final 7 days later. And as you mentioned, other games in the Nations League this evening. In League A Group 4, Spain taking on Ukraine and Switzerland against Germany. That is at 7:45. In League B Group 3, Russia are 2-0 up against Hungary at half-time, while Serbia face Turkey later on. And elsewhere as well, it is Slovenia 1, Moldova 0. Kosovo and Greece play later in League C Group 3. And then in League D, Faroe Islands 1-0 up on Andorra. Malta and Latvia still scoreless. In golf, Rory McIlroy is 5 off the lead heading into the day 3 of the Tour Championship. He carded a disappointing round of 71 to finish on 8 under par last night. He'll tee off this evening at around 7:20 Irish time, with Dustin Johnson 1 clear of the field on 13 under par. Meanwhile, Jonathan Caldwell carded a final round of 77 at the Andalusian Masters in Spain, leaving him 6 over par overall, with American John Catlin winning the event at Valderrama, beating Martin Keimer by a single shot. And then at the US Open in Flushing Meadows, they're into the last 16 this evening. 2018 women's champion Naomi Osaka will be hoping to book a quarter-final when she meets 14 seed Anett Kontaveit in her 4th round match, while men's top seed Novak Djokovic is up against Spain's Pablo Carreno Busta, a man he has beaten in all 3 of their previous meetings.
Yeah, the golf would be interesting to see what happens today and tomorrow. It's just a bizarre, like they had this kind of handicap where they gave Dustin Johnson and John Rahm a head start in the field, obviously given the stellar play they'd shown in the FedEx Cup rankings, and now it's wide open. Like you got Schauffele's 2 shots off, Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas 3 shots off, Colin Morikawa, the PGA Championship winners in there. Wide open. I think Rory might be a bit too far back, 5 shots back, but if he plays the way he played on the opening day on Friday with that 64, he could be in with a shout. But I think it's going to be fascinating to see, like the tours finishing this evening, or not this evening, but because they got Labor Day in the States.
Labor. I was rattling in my head, what holiday is it this weekend over in the States? Labor Day.
This is the day when the election gets set in stone. Usually this is the time from Labor Day. You can't really resurrect the election until the debate, so we'll see what happens in the debates. But it's an inflection point, and hopefully we'll see an inflection point, Neil, in the second half. Thanks for the news round there. With the Republic of Ireland facing Finland in the Nations League, goalless in the first half, pretty forgettable. But there's loads of reasons for that, possibly, which Nathan and Murphy and Stuey Byrne can go through. Let's go back to Lansdowne Road and Nathan and Stuey. I hope you had a good half-time refreshment and you're gearing up for better football in the second half.
Yeah, there's no real options for half-time refreshments anymore at the Aviva Stadium. The sides just coming back out onto the pitch. Interesting, James McLean didn't actually go in at half-time. He stayed out warming up by himself. Thought he might be coming off at the start of the second half, but looks as though he's going back into the stand again. Republic of Ireland 0, Finland 0, as you say. It was quite forgettable. 45 minutes. Finland had the best chance through Timo Pukki when Darren Randolph saved well. But interesting listening to Ryan Giggs there at half-time, Stewie, talking about Wales' victory against Bulgaria and how Bulgaria are a month or so into their season. Finland are a month or so into their season. Now he felt Wales were a bit flat in comparison, particularly in the opening 45. Got it going a bit more. And I'd imagine the way things are going, Stephen Kenny's post-match team talk will be quite similar.
Yeah. Look, I'm sure it'll be thrown out there, but won't wash with me, to be quite honest with you. I just feel that we just look a little bit flat for whatever reason. I don't think we started the game particularly well, and we never really sort of got any momentum into our play. I do think we've created problems for ourselves. We haven't dealt well with that two Finnish players up top, in particular Pukki and Taylor in midfield as well. So that's causing us an awful lot of trouble. Something that we need to get right. I'd like to see Aaron Connolly drop a little bit deeper as well. I kind of was chatting off air. Like, I think he's a little bit too easy to mark at the moment. He's just gonna stud up with the fullback. And the fullback's having an easy day of it at the moment, you know.
Yeah, the pitches seem very big as well during the game so far. There's big gaps between the defence, the midfield and the forwards. No changes at the break for Ireland. So still Darren Randolph in goals. Back four, Matt Doherty, Shane Duffy, John Egan and Enda Stevens. Harry Arter back at the base in the midfield again, with Jason Malumbi on the right of him and Robbie Brady on the left. And then it is Callum O'Dowda on the right of the front three, Aaron Connolly on the left and Adam Ida through the centre. And for Finland, it is Lukas Hrajki, the Bayer Leverkusen goalkeeper, who's between the nets for them. The back three of Leo Väisänen, Juhani Oyala and Daniel O'Shaughnessy. The wing backs, Nikolai Alho, who's probably seen more of the ball than anybody in the first half, on the right, and Nicholas Heimelin on the left. And then a midfield who've been dominant so far, Glenn Kamara, Tim Sparv and Robert Taylor, with Timo Pukki up front alongside Joel Poyampalo. So that is the Finland team, who've probably be happier, I'd imagine, going in at half-time. No need to remind you, as you can tell if you're listening in, that there is nobody here at the Aviva Stadium this game behind closed doors. And well, if there was Irish fans here, they would have been pretty frustrated, I think, with the opening 45 minutes, though maybe a bit of atmosphere might have changed things, because it's just lacked a little bit of bite from an Irish point of view. It's very strange being able to hear pretty much everything that the players are saying. Jason Malumbi steps away and then spots Enda Stevens in space on the left-hand side. Midway inside his own half, Ireland attacking from left to right for this second 45 minutes. Sun still shining in Dublin. Aaron Connolly attacking, bringing the ball to the end line, goes down under the challenge and draws the free kick as well there out of Alho. A bit more positive from Ireland that time, and it all started with Jason Malumbi with a nice little shuffle inside his own half, spotted Enda Stevens in space, forward to Connolly. Connolly put the head down, a little bit of ambition, and managed to draw the foul, and it's in a dangerous spot for the Republic of Ireland, just a couple of yards in from the end line, over on the left hand side, and Duffy and Egan go forward again.
Fourth time really in the game. Aaron Connolly's had a chance to get his head up and go one-on-one with somebody, and look what comes of it. We get a free kick in a really, really dangerous area.
May well have noticed that James McLean wasn't in the dressing room at half-time and was out warming up and going through quite a strenuous warm-up as well. It'll be Robbie Brady to take this free kick, a one-man wall of Timo Pukki in front of him. Lots of bodies, every single Finland player inside their own penalty area at the moment. Harry Arter and Jason Malumbi just outside. But it is Robbie Brady. Left foot, floats it to the back post. John Egan goes up, just gets underneath it. Ball doesn't go out to play it up. It's fired high up into the air. It's a terrible clearance, but he gets a second chance at it there, Heimelin, and gives it straight to Jason Malumbi. Sends it back into the edge of the area. Duffy can't get there, and this time Finland do clear their lines up to the halfway line, and then the Stevens is under the ball, calmly chests it down under a little bit of pressure from Taylor, and turns back and gives it to his goalkeeper Randolph.
Yeah, certainly calmed there, and that could have been a difficult one. From ball came down with snow on it and looked like it was going to bounce really high. He was under pressure, didn't panic.
Nice from Robbie Brady. Skips away from Pukki, and again spots Connolly on the left-hand side, running straight at the Finland defence. Back again towards Brady, can't find him though, and stepping out was Sparv. Needed a bit more quality that time, Aaron Connolly.
Just having a look at Robert Taylor again, Nathan. As you look at him now, look, he's in the centre forward position. Finland have three up top. You can see that he's hovering in off the shoulder of Harry Arter, between John Egan and Harry Arter. That's the difficulty for him as a midfielder. Doesn't always know where he is, so it needs to depend on communication between himself and Egan or Duffy. Let me know where he is. Is he here? Is he there? Otherwise, it'll be a constant distraction.
Connolly can't find either this time. You can see he's grown frustrated with himself, Aaron Connolly. And it is still just his fourth cap for the Galwegian. Oh, Arthur in quickly this time and manages to win the ball back. And Callum O'Dowda, a little tug in the jersey it looked like there on O'Dowda from Kamara, and it is, and it's going to be a free kick to Ireland. Well, Ireland needed that little bit of an injection of energy that time from Arthur. And Finland were just stroking it around, as they've done at will throughout this game in the middle of midfield. So they were caught in the hop a little bit by Harry Arter, biting at the ankles of the midfielder Kamara. He lost his balance and O'Dowda was almost away, and it was a silly little tug of the jersey. Seems to have got away without a yellow card though, but it is a free kick to Ireland.
Yeah, excellent from Arter. Exactly what you need. Somebody just to go and get tight and have a little snap at somebody and just force us into a little bit of reaction, you know.
So free kick just inside on about 15 yards inside the Finland half, just to the right of centre. It is Robbie Brady again, who steps up, sends it deep towards the back post, and it's just taken off the head there of John Egan as he was coming in at the back post. He says it came off a Finnish head last, and certainly from up here it looked like it may well have.
I think it did, Nathan. Yeah,
maybe it was Shane Duffy just backpedaling who got the last touch. Either way, it's a goal kick to Finland. 5 minutes gone in the second half here and off the ball. Republic of Ireland 0, Finland 0. Väisänen plays his club football in Italy with Chievo up to the halfway line. Malumbi can't find Arter, and it comes to O'Shaughnessy of Finland down this left-hand side. Duffy rolls it into Brady in the centre of the pitch. Brady head down, running forward, has options to his right. Matt Doherty wants it. Doherty still looking for, but Brady spots Enda Stevens in acres of space, just on the left-hand edge of the area. First time ball on straight into the goalkeeper's arms. That's really, really poor from Enda Stevens. He'd loads of time to think about. He could have taken a touch and brought it into the area. Might fall for Adam Ida though. High boot there from Ida. Comes out then to Callum O'Dowda on the edge of the area. Slid through Darren Connolly. Oh, and Connolly's touch was heavy, and Finland managed to clear their lines. It was all very scrappy at the back from the visitors, who look a little bit all over the shop, but will now come on the counter-attack with Hämäläinen on this left-hand side. Very open start to this second half. Little back heel there towards Hämäläinen, but Shane Duffy took it away from him, tracking back quickly, and Doherty gives it to Malumbi. End to end at the Aviva at the moment. Different pace to this second half. O'Dowda.
What a chance for Ireland, but I don't think Connolly realised that, you know, he didn't have as much time as he had, because all the Finnish players had been squeezed over, and once he's gotten in possession, I think it was Allo who got right around, just nicked it off his toe. It certainly has opened up, maybe something the game would need, just to kind of invite Ireland out a little bit more.
Well, at first it was Enda Stevens who didn't realise how much time he had, because it was a beautiful ball by Robbie Brady that spotted it in acres of space, the freedom of Lansdowne Road, right on the edge of the penalty area on the left-hand side, and he just tried a little dinked chip first time instead of taking a touch and driving into the area. And then, as you say, it was the opposite for Aaron Connolly, who just didn't realise he had no time at all and needed to hit it first time. But better from Ireland now. Adam Ida again Good hold-up play, drifting out to the left-hand side. Back to Brady, 25 yards from the Finland goal. Can't find Aaron Connolly because the Finnish defenders are out quickly, and now Kamara will come. Again, Ireland looking a little bit open when they lose possession of the ball, pushing right high up. I do wonder if that's a game plan that suits Duffy and Egan. Remember Egan playing in a 3-man defence with Sheffield United, and certainly the new Brighton play with that 3-man defence a lot of the time as well when Duffy was playing this season. Finland have it over on the right-hand side with Alho. Little step over, taking on Enda Stevens, drills it across. Egan down low to head back to Stevens on the left-hand edge of the area. Just needs to be careful there, and eventually can't take any chances. There was no green jersey free, so just smashes it out of play for a throw into Finland midway inside the Irish half over on the far side of the pitch. There's Kamara. And the Rangers player, I'm sure, will be quite happy that there's no supporters here. We all know what would be happening. We'd all tut-tut.
A few tut-tuts with her. Beyond all that now, aren't we, Nathan? No?
Really? You'd like to think so, but I wouldn't be so sure. Of course, we're going up against Shane Duffy. Potentially in an old firm derby. And Finland build up the right-hand side. A lot of space over there. Pukki waiting in the centre. Stevens as well. Cross sent in deep. Matt Doherty heads it behind for a corner kick. He probably could have left it. Didn't get the shout, though. And it will be a corner kick to Finland. Down to our left-hand side.
I think we really need to address that issue with Robert Taylor. He's killing us, absolutely killing us. He was the catalyst for that move. Again, finding himself an acres of space in behind left full in between the centre half and the full back, making those late runs. He's got 10-15 yards of space to get turned. He's setting up play, he's orchestrating everything. The good that's coming from Finland is coming from him.
So corner kick driven in at real pace to the back post. William Palo got his head on, not fully clear by Ireland, eventually fired clear by Egan, picked up though by the white jersey of a Finnish player, sent into the back post. Enda Stevens across quickly and battling away with O'Shaughnessy. Over his head he volleys it forward. Now a chance for Aaron Connolly to put some pressure on. Header back there, and Finland just about do enough to clear their lines. Comes out to this near side to Doherty. Doherty won that header well. Now there's space to bomb forward for Malumbi as Doherty with him as well. Malumbi drills it in towards the near post. Again, I'm not sure what he was quite thinking there as it takes a deflection and spins into the arms of the keeper. And here's Doherty calmly into the centre to Brady. Kamara close by, and then Brady just runs into no man's land. Across quickly is Callum O'Dowda to close down Hämäläinen, but it'll be a throw into Finland.
That was a real opportunity, Laws. I have to say, Malumbi's done extremely well to break down this right-hand side, but he has Doherty in support, and he's just gotten his head down. He's a little bit headstrong. The decision was poor. He decides to cross in a poor position. Doesn't get any kind of a decent quality in and just goes straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. I think Doherty would have been better served just offloading it back to Doherty. It was just little decision-making things like that are really kind of costing us at the moment. It's a bit erratic, you know. There's no real clear decision.
10 minutes gone in the second half. Still scoreless here on Off the Ball between the Republic of Ireland and Finland. Of course, we'll have plenty of reaction to this tomorrow, and it may well be a chance here for Ireland. Aaron Connolly inside the area, drifting to the left-hand side, gets the shot in and hits the side netting. Well, Ireland pressed up high on Finland there, managed to nick the ball away, and it fell to Connolly on the edge of the area. Tried to go around the outside, and the angle was too tight eventually, and he fires into the side netting.
That was a lovely little flick around the corner from Ida as well. I think Connolly, once he gets one-on-one in that situation, you're always going to back him. He just takes the ball around the defender behind him, and I think his touch is a little bit heavy. He's pushed him a little bit too wide. He's always struggling to get it on target, hits the side netting.
Well, he's certainly been Ireland's biggest threat over these two matches. And he's still waiting to break his international duck. Here he is again. He's just pushed over there. The referee lets it play. I mean, he's letting an awful lot go, this Italian referee. Here's Adamidev. Driving forward, has the option of Matt Doherty on his right hand side, finds the new Spurs man back into Harry Arter on the right hand edge of the area. A little back heel then to Malumbi out to Doherty this time. Finland have men back, and Callum O'Dowda back to goal, gives it to Harry Arter, back to O'Dowda again, just in the edge of the area, onto his left foot, going across, tries to curl it in and just gets a little bit too much on it, but much better from Ireland over the last few minutes as O'Dowda curls that shot to the left and wide.
Yeah, much better. Lovely little interchange of play between Harry Arter, O'Dowda. Lovely breakdown this right hand side, and once O'Dowda picks the ball up in that position, the edge of the corner of the D, you can see he's always favouring the cut inside in that left foot. You can see he's gone down now as well.
Yeah, he has.
In trouble.
Maybe just stretch something in taking that shot. That's the best we've seen from Callum O'Dowda in this game. He's been a bit of a peripheral figure for the most part. But it's opened right up in this second half. Plenty of mistakes from both sides. Neither side looking too comfortable when they're on the ball, and it's making and creating opportunities for both teams. And as well, Callum O'Dowda is getting a bit of space. The Irish players are going to come across and grab themselves a quick drink, and they're going to get some instructions as well. Keith Andrews out having a word. Adam Eade has been much better at the start of this second half.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see there's a little bit more energy about us, a little bit more speed of pass, a bit more direction to how we're playing. Eade is a real handful, I have to say. A real good battle between him. Either Bassinan or Oyala have gone and marked them. Two physical lads, and there has been a physical edge to this side as well. I know, even noticed in commentary, you felt there could have been a couple of free kicks, but I felt the same. The Finland team are a little bit on the physical side. Referee seems to be letting an awful lot go. Going to be a substitution.
Yeah, Callum Robinson is going to come on in place of Callum O'Dowda.
Will be replaced by number 12, Callum Robinson.
The exact same switch that happened in Sofia against Bulgaria on Thursday night. I'm not sure what happened, Callum O'Dowda. It was obviously when he took that shot, just stretched something. It wasn't a bad effort either, just trying to bend it in past the goalkeeper with his left boot. So Callum Robinson comes on, winning his 14th international cap. Just the one goal in the friendly against New Zealand last November. He is currently still a Sheffield United player, though. Once he goes back to England tomorrow, he's expected to return to West Brom. Looks as though they're going to do a swap deal with Oliver Burke going to Sheffield United. You do feel there's a chance for Callum Robinson if he can perform to maybe oust Callum O'Dowda from that right-hand side. He's taken up that position. Still scoreless then here at the Aviva. Forward towards Ida. It's been a little bit more physical now at this second half. I was talking to Keith Andrew after one of the under-21 matches where he said at times Adam Ida's a little bit Bruce Banner, where they need him to be more the Incredible Hulk, be a bit more physical, as Robinson smashes a shot from 25 yards. His first touch, he was in a central position. Opened up nicely for him, but it was a wild effort in the end. And that is the thing with Adam Ida. He's still only 19 as he fills out physically. You really could see him having a big future in that central role. Particularly when you look at the players he's up against at the moment. Dave McGoldrick, 32. Shane Long, 33.
I think that's a role he can definitely fill. He showed certainly in these two games that he's got ability and ability to play up that role either on his own or with somebody. I think as the game has gone on, there's probably players around him have grown in confidence and they're feeding all sorts of balls into him now. I think the service does need to be a little bit better into him, and he needs to get a little bit better at kind of getting that 1 or 2 yards of space when he's been marked out tightly.
Harry Arthur's been a lot more physical in this second half. We haven't quite seen as much of Timo Pukki either because Arthur's been everywhere, and he got a little bit of a rocket during the half-time break. It is a throw-in to Finland, just inside the Irish half on this near side. Finland attacking down to our left. They'll be taken by Daniel O'Shaughnessy. O'Shaughnessy being closed down by Robinson. Goes back to the centre half. Ida there as well, and they have to sweep it back to Harajki. Under real pressure from Adam Ida, just drills it forward. One in the air by Poyampalo, but couldn't find Timo Pukki, and back it goes to Darren Randolph. Darren Randolph's only conceded 7 goals in his last 13 appearances for the Republic of Ireland. They've kept it very tight at the back. The problem has been at the other end, where incredibly since the playoff win against Bosnia back in 2015 when John Walter scored the 2 goals memorably that night, Ireland have only scored more than once in 2 competitive home games against Moldova and Gibraltar, which means it's always going to be a bit of a high wire act when you're not scoring goals. You need to be pretty much faultless at the back. Now Arthur tries to go down the line towards Connolly. It's over his head and over the Finnish defender's head, and he just lets it bounce back to his goalkeeper. Past the hour mark now. Republic of Ireland 0, Finland 0.
Confusion there between Aaron Connolly and Harry Arthur. You know, Connolly looking for it in behind. Arthur wanted to go in behind. Connolly was looking for a short.
Oof. I think Shane Duffy got away with one there. He was thinking of taking it down his chest and then decided to spin his body. And it just came off his arm, but the referee was blindsided, so play continues. And it is with Enda Stevens stepping inside. Kamara on his heels to Robinson. Been lively in the couple of minutes he's been on. Lays it off to Malumbi and helps it now to Matt Doherty on this near side, the Irish right. Quick 1-2 with Callum Robinson. Into the centre he goes, into Stevens is out of position, loses out, couldn't get the ball out of his feet, and Finland win it back. Harry Arter again with the sliding challenge, crunching in there on Robert Taylor and putting the ball out for a throw-in. Well, that's much better from Harry Arter in the second half, providing that platform for Ireland. Change going to happen for Finland, and Pohjanpalo is the player who's going to be replaced. He had a couple of wild swings at a couple of volleys, and that was sort of as good as it got for him. And Jensen is the player who's going to come on.
It's a big lad, Nathan, isn't he? Big, strong, physical player. Looks like might be an intention from Finland to go a little bit more direct.
Yeah, Fredrik Jensen, and straight away Finland are on the attack, and a chance, and they've scored. His first touch, and Finland are in front. Fredrik Jensen off the bench and on the scoreboard within 20 seconds. They broke down the left-hand side. It was Taylor involved again, and he played a beautiful little ball across the 6-yard box, and flying in at the back post was the substitute, and Fredrik Jensen scores for Finland, and they lead in Dublin by 1-0.
Have a look at the replay again. It comes from Taylor down this left-hand side, gets himself between Duffy and Matt Doherty. Duffy and Matt Doherty just completely switch off. Doherty's looking at him, doesn't even track him. We haven't coped with Taylor at all in this game. He's a huge issue for me. He's been the catalyst and the cause of everything that Finland have had good about them. We haven't coped with it. He's got a free run there, slips down the inside of Duffy, and all he's doing is playing across into an empty space. And Jensen's got a tap in. He's only on the pitch 30 seconds, and he's got a tap in.
And what an impact. What an impact from Fredrik Jensen. First touch of the ball, and he puts Finland in front. And yet again, Stephen Kenny finds his team behind, pretty much at the exact same spot as it was against Bulgaria. 64 minutes gone, Republic of Ireland 0, Finland 1, the substitute. And as you say, Ireland just switching off completely at the back. And there's going to be a lot to ponder, regardless of the result here for Stephen Kenny. Because if they play like this, if they're as open as this against Slovakia in a month, well, Ireland haven't got a hope in hell.
Again, it's like the other night, Nathan. It wasn't the fact that we were done on a counter attack, or that we were stretched and they've caught us on the break. On that particular occasion, we were set. We were set. The problem was, because we had Taylor, who was a midfielder in an advanced position, for some reason Duffy and Doherty don't think it's their responsibility to go and mark him. You know, and Doherty in particular on that occasion, just he switched off because he's looking at it. He needs to get round on the cover. He needs to chase him into that space that he's gone into. But it's really poor, really poor from us.
Yeah, I'd say it was within about 20 seconds of him coming onto the pitch from the substitution after the throw-in that Jensen had scored. So Ireland need to come from behind again in the Nations League under Stephen Kenny. Adam Ida drifting over to the left-hand side. Plays it into Malumbi. Heavy touch from Malumbi, and the second touch is a sliding tackle, and he's late, and he's going to pick up a yellow card. And we talked about this in the build-up about Jason Malumbi, that he picks up a huge amount of yellow cards. He's very rash at times, and that was a miscontrol, and he just threw himself in. And there's going to be a change made, and Adam Ida's day is done, and Dave McGoldrick is going to come on. Again, Adam Ida hasn't done a huge amount wrong. It's just he hasn't had an impact inside the opposition penalty area.
Yeah, 19 years of age as well. Playing 180 minutes might be just a little bit too much of a stretch for him. So, chance for McGoldrick now to come in. But the way we're playing at the moment, we're not really able to capitalise on that. We're just gone out of the game again.
Yeah, so Dave McGoldrick on. Had a foot injury which kept him out of the trip to Bulgaria. On for his 13th cap. Just the one goal so far, that equaliser against Switzerland last year. So, again, it is changes up top. McGoldrick on for Ida, and Robinson on the right instead of O'Dowda. Ireland trailing by 1-0. Midway point of the second half here and off the ball. And this wasn't how the script was meant to go for Stephen Kenny. 2 games in. Robinson, chance to get the cross in. Hesitates slightly, going to just bide his time. Sends it in left, in on top of Dave McGoldrick. Oh, over McGoldrick and past Connolly as well. Huge chance for Aaron Connolly at the back post. He just didn't anticipate that McGoldrick would miss it, and he missed the ball completely, and it drifts to the left and wide.
Oh, he's frustrated on himself here. He doesn't know how he's missed this. It was a wonderful cross from Callum Robinson as he's checked back onto his left foot. And as it's come in, McGoldrick's chance, and you can see what Connolly's trying to do is just letting it come onto his left foot, so he can just have a little tap in coming in from height, but just times it all wrong, doesn't get it right, and probably a little bit indicative of how the game has gone, Nathan. It's just been like that really from the start, very ratty.
Ireland have caught him here. Chance for Dave McGoldrick. Oh, what a challenge to Dave McGoldrick. It opened up for him. Ireland put the high press on, and it fell to McGoldrick inside the area. And just as he's pulling the trigger, somehow the Finnish defender slid in and smothered the ball. And again, Finland looking anything but comfortable trying to play it out from the back. Ireland so close to capitalising again. Probably should have capitalised. Dave McGoldrick this time with the chance.
Yeah, he's only on the pitch a few minutes as well. Probably didn't go in our favour, did he? Would have liked to have seen him maybe switch onto his left foot just to get his body between himself and the covering defender. I think it was Elainen, but another great opportunity for Ireland. That's two really great chances in the last 30 seconds.
Well, here comes Jensen again. The goal scorer gets the shot off. No great power on it though with his left foot. Freddie Jensen. 19 seconds is what they're saying. After coming on, he got that goal. You do feel there's going to be more goals in this game because it's so open. And now here is Aaron Connolly. He needs to get one. He's had so many chances. Cutting in onto his right foot inside the area. Takes a couple of touches into the D. Low right footed shot straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. Took a little bit too much out of it, Aaron Connolly.
Yeah, well, definitely a change in pace and intent in the game now. Callum Robinson with a lovely ball of the outside of his right foot out to Aaron Connolly, getting Connolly in a position that we really need to see him in, and that's 1v1 situations, cutting in from that left-hand side. Probably carried it a little bit too much there on that occasion, Nathan. Got a shot away, hit the target, but too easy for the goalkeeper.
Finland leading Ireland by 1-0. Stepping out is the centre-back, Oyala. And nothing ball forward, so it'll be comfortably collected by Enda Stevens, and Ireland can start all over again. Lots and lots of half chances for Ireland. And that one there from McGoldrick, one of the better. But that high press working, you'd imagine they'll keep at that because that's twice now they've been able to put enough pressure on to take the ball away. Lovely turn from McGoldrick. Midway inside the Finland half, lays it off to the right-hand touchline to Malumbi. Doherty's there as well. Back. And a quick 1-2 with Arthur from McGoldrick, and he goes to the halfway line to his Sheffield United teammate John Egan. Egan out to Robbie Brady. I haven't seen a lot of Robbie Brady in this second half, and he's over on the left-hand side, just asking his teammates to come a little bit closer. Goes back to Enda Stevens, and now it's Egan again. Doherty's in acres of space on this near side. If Duffy can find him, eventually he does. Here is Matt Doherty. Doherty slides a lovely pass through the middle there to Callum Robinson. Robinson though can't barge his way through. Oyala strong defending from the Finland centre half, given away though, and here is Matt Doherty. Up towards the edge of the area, into Callum Robinson. Chance for Robinson, angle side. Oh, brilliant save from the keeper. Hradzki's kept his side in it there. Matt Doherty, one of the passes of the game, picking out the run of Callum Robinson as he cut in from the right-hand side. He hit it first time, but, well, Peter Schmeichel-esque from Hradzki, spread his body as far as possible and managed to save with his right arm.
Oh, it's a hell of a save. It's a hell of a chance for Ireland as well. It's a wonderful little slide reel pass from Doherty as he's cut inside into right into Robinson's stride. Doesn't have to check his stride at all, and he's in at an angle 1v1 with the keeper. The keeper's done extremely well because he's set up quite high. Waiting to see the replay. I wonder could he have cut it back for Connolly, but I felt we should have scored there. Great chance.
Brave for Doherty there to win the header. Robinson just in between McGoldrick and Connolly, but Ireland looking far more threatening since the introduction of Robinson and McGoldrick. 53106, the text number. You can get us on @off the ball if you have any thoughts on this performance. All the reaction on OTB AM from 7:30 tomorrow morning. We'll have Gary Breen, Kenny Cunningham, Stephen Ward giving their thoughts on the performance. At the moment, it looks as though it's going to be just 1 point from the opening two games for Stephen Kenny, the man in possession. Freddie Jensen scored the goal just 19 seconds after coming on as a substitute, and here he is again. Some space on the edge of the area, slides it through to Pukki. Pukki back to goal, trying to spin around, somehow keeping it alive. Eventually goes to ground under pressure from Arthur, but Arthur managed to win the ball, and Ireland clear up to the halfway line.
Oh, real danger for Ireland there. I think Jensen kind of faked on a shot, and he drew 2 or 3 Ireland players towards him. And
it was Timo Pukki on the half volley from pretty much on the penalty spot, luckily for Ireland, straight into the arms of Darren Randolph, who quickly rolls it forward to Robbie Brady. Brady goes long over the top of McGoldrick when McGoldrick is pointing at him to put it short. McGoldrick sets off in chase and puts enough pressure then on Oyala that the Finnish defender can just spin it out of play for a throw in, and Ireland gain plenty of ground. Taken quickly by Robinson, throws it back to Matt Doherty on this near side, the Irish right. Harry Arthur just inside the Finland half. 10 Finland players back behind the ball. Arthur, little ball forward to the feet of Connolly, throws himself to the ground. The referee ain't having any of it, and Finland will come forward. Connolly looks on in disgust as play continues. Timo Pukki rolls it to Jensen on this left-hand side. Pukki continues with his run through the centre. Jensen holds on to the ball, has Doherty and Duffy for company, and eventually goes back to Kamara. Finland leading by a goal to nil. 18 minutes remaining. Ireland need a little bit of inspiration again. They've had chances. That one for Callum Robinson, unquestionably the best of the game so far. It was a brilliant save from Hradzki.
See, Ireland just waiting for that opportunity, when to go. Finland in a bit of possession at the moment. Ireland are squeezing up now. It's just a matter of when to go, and then the rest come in. Here's Arthur coming in now. It's a good offload.
Yeah, this time doesn't get on the ball, Harry Arthur. Floated across field there to Al Ho, who's on his international hopes no harm at all this evening in his second cap. Been impressive over on that right hand side for Finland. Kamara to Pukki, and then it comes to Hämäläinen. Into Kamara again, just on the edge of the Irish area. Back to Hämäläinen, runs into trouble though. A wall of green jerseys, not cleared though. Comes out to Jensen, trying to flick it through the middle there, off the head of John Egan. And now it's at the feet of Robbie Brady, just outside his own area. Drills it right-footed over to the left-hand side. Again, too much on that though from Brady, and flies straight over the head of Aaron Connolly.
Yeah, it's a little bit loose from Brady. I don't really know what he's trying to do there. I know he's in a little bit of difficulty, but he's surely capable of getting a better pass off than that. He's struck a frustrated figure for me in the last 10 minutes or so, Robbie Brady. You can see he's sort of waving the hands a little bit because of the lack of options and trying a little bit erratic things, starting to hit a few. His heart has gone, smashed into somebody. He needs to be careful as well. It's second or third time he's gone to ground, but still something he probably needed at the moment. Someone.
And James McLean is back warming up again. I said he went through a fairly rigorous warm-up at half-time. It actually wasn't a hint of anything to come, but will he be the final change and get a few minutes at the end of this game? Quarter of an hour remaining, Ireland trailing by a goal to nil. There is going to be a lot of conversation around this performance and individual performance and system and everything, because it's hard to know what exactly has worked for Ireland over these couple of games. You could question Matt Doherty's performance at right back. And are we getting the best out of him in that position?
We're in trouble here, Nathan.
Yeah, Kamara releases Pukki. Egan across quickly, had to win the challenge and does win the sliding tackle. Gets there just ahead of Timo Pukki and puts it out of play for a throw into Finland. And Ireland are going to start committing a few more men forward.
Needed to be quick there, didn't he? He obviously saw the danger. Left in a 2v1 situation because Jensen, the big man, was coming in around the back. Needed to make that tackle, that covering tackle.
And the voice you're hearing shouting is Harry Arthur, who's just telling his teammates to try and up it again. We're going to see O'Shaughnessy go with one of these long-range throw-ins. He can get them right in on to the 6-yard box from this position. He's on this near side, just below our commentary position here at the Aviva.
They've got the big man on for Jensen as well.
And sent in this time, headed clear though by Egan. And McGoldrick can't get that under control. Flicked on then and is controlled by Harry Arthur. Duffy to Doherty, bringing it up towards the halfway line as McGoldrick just in front. Again, a short little ball. A little bit of uncertainty all the time when Ireland are bringing it forward as to who's going to go where and when. McLean is taking off his bib and he's going to come on at the next break in play. It's gone over to that left-hand side. Will it be Connolly? Will it be a straight change of the front three? You'd have to imagine it probably will be. Unless they really go for broke.
Just Doherty on that occasion. You said it, Nathan. He's getting his head up, and the pass he wants to play, he can't play because he feels like people are running away from him. I think that's been really indicative of the game. It's just options not
giving
there.
It away. Here's Taylor into the area, shot and saved at the near post. A good save by Darren Randolph. Again, Taylor just driving forward. Every time he's got on the ball, he's just gone at the Irish defence.
He's playing the game with a cigar in his mouth, Nathan. We haven't dealt with him at all. I can't believe we haven't at least got someone to go and mark him and to put him out of the game.
And the final change, as you can probably hear, is Aaron Connolly coming off. James McLean is the player who comes on. So McLean on for a 73rd cap. And dropped for that match against Bulgaria on Thursday night. First time he'd been dropped for Ireland in 4 years. What can he do in the last 15 or so minutes? Corner kick for Finland to deal with first though, which Ireland just about do, and then Al Ho on the half volley makes an absolute mess of it, but it'll be kept in play over on the far side, over by the corner flag. A nice little ball into Kamara on the edge there, little ball back then to Jensen, Lovely build-up play by Finland. The angle's almost impossible from there, but he manages to dink it to the back post, just over Taylor, who's hurriedly coming out to this left-hand side. Back he goes to Hämäläinen. Finland have committed plenty of men forward if Ireland could nick it back. Harry Arter still full of energy, putting some pressure on. And Finland, from inside their own half, Alho just skips away from McLean and fires it forward and onto the head of Shane Duffy, who casually just knocks it back to Darren Randolph. Connolly's done well though. Both games he's created a lot of chances, and unfortunately for Aaron Connolly, he just hasn't managed to get a goal.
Yeah, I think he's been excellent, to be fair to him. Probably just running out a little bit of steam. You know, a lot to ask playing the two games, especially the style of play that he plays. He's very full on, 100%, full of energy. So probably time to just bring him off, freshen up a little bit, give him a rest, and see what James McLean can do.
Fintan Kieran wondering, what is the problem? Players, formation, style, ability, or instructions?
Yeah, probably a little bit about. I think we're probably complicating it a little bit too much. I don't think we've done tonight what we did the other night. I think there's been a lack of options for whatever reason, and we've ended up being quite static.
Yeah, the front three certainly not involved for the vast majority of the game as much as they were on Thursday night. McGoldrick, who if he's fully fit you would feel is probably in line to start in Slovakia, drilled clear by Alho. It'll be a throw into Ireland deep inside their own half on this right hand side. Finland are going to make another change. So Hämäläinen is done, and on its place is the number 18 Uranen. See if he can make a similar impact to Fredrik Jensen, who scored inside 19 seconds of coming on, and that's still the only goal with 11 minutes remaining here at the Aviva Stadium. Given away by Matt Doherty. He's just been so sloppy. This looks a little bit disillusioned, Matt Doherty. Not playing the game with a smile on his face at all this evening. Here's James McLean. First chance for him to get on the ball. Driving forward over on the left-hand side. Finds himself somewhat isolated. Support eventually coming from Enda Stevens. And Stevens then goes back to Arter. Arter through the middle. Nice pass it was to Robinson in a more central position now. Out again it goes to McLean. McLean with the cross from deep in on top of the keeper and comfortably collected by the Finland goalkeeper Lukas Hradski.
Yeah, a little bit too easy for Hradski. You know, when you put it into that area, it needs to be better than that. It's good delivery, but into an area, no players in there at the moment. I think Doherty, you mentioned it, Nathan, looks tired. Looks tired to me. Looks like he's maybe feeling it a little bit.
Well, he'd been on holidays for 3 weeks until last Sunday, after Wolves were knocked out of the Europa League. Obviously had that big move as well, so a lot going on in his head, I'm sure. And again, Harry Arter there just shouting at his teammates to just try and keep the energy levels up. Of course, the season only starts next weekend. Premier League back here on Off the Ball every Sunday. 2 live commentaries. And now here's O'Shaughnessy rolling it to the substitute, Uranen. This time there was miscontrol by Sparrow, but they get away from it.
Where's the Ireland player, Nathan? That's the thing. Where's the Irish player?
And the Irish players look dead in their feet at this stage. They're really struggling to get anything going as Timo Pukki sweeps a shot inches to the left and wide. He hit it first time from the edge of the area, turned his body brilliantly. I think caught Darren Randolph on the hop somewhat, but fires it to the left and wide.
Yeah, and again, too much time and space to get turned. That, you know, centre forward getting turned in that area. No one closing, no tackle, gets a strike away. Hit it early, caught everyone up by surprise.
Cross from the left-hand side from McLean. Comes to Malumbi, hit first time on the half volley, and it just drifts to the left and wide. Never really got the connection he wanted on it. Always going well wide.
Significant there now. When McLean's got away down the left-hand side, he's got a delivery into the box, but the only player in there is McGoldrick. You know, and that's something that hasn't been the case, especially in the Bulgarian game, and for probably the first 60-70 minutes of this game. So you can see the Irish players are starting to flag a little bit tired. I think he's got to make a few changes. Stephen got to try and change this up. The other thing as well, Nathan, you go back to what's missing. Our shooting boots just aren't on at the moment either. You know, we've had opportunities, certainly as many opportunities as Finland have had. The difference is they put the ball in the back of the net.
And I've looked more likely to put the ball in the back of the net.
A bit more energy
and intent about them. So 81 minutes rolling into the 82nd minute here at the Aviva Stadium. The last Irish manager to lose on their first home game in charge. Mick McCarthy back in 1996 had a 2-0 defeat against Russia. That worked out in the end. Got to a World Cup eventually. Took a bit of time. Stephen Kenny has a month to somehow get this happening for Ireland. It won't be the be-all and end-all for him if they go and beat Slovakia, but it's such a huge opportunity with those games in Dublin, hopefully next summer.
We spoke about Bulgaria even when we were during the Bulgaria game the other night, Nathan. You know, you felt that Ireland were playing quite good. That, you know, something could come of it. There was a bit of, you know, optimism about the game as we were commentating on it. I wouldn't say the same about this game. I just feel that there's been something missing, and not just a player or two, just an energy and a conviction that's been missing for some reason. So I'll be a little bit more worried now than I would have been the other night.
Now Stevens bringing the ball over the halfway line, right on the left-hand touchline, to the feet of Brady. Brady skips away from one challenge. Just behind James McLean, though. Again, it's all just a little bit off for Ireland. And now here's Tumo Pukki with plenty of space as he drives forward. Heavy touch from him, though, allows Harry Arter in. Kamara somehow manages to get it back to Pukki again. Here's Jensen, just on the edge of the D, 20 yards out, central position, lays it off to Kamara. Plenty of time to think about what he wants to do. Taylor onto his right foot. Ireland just not closing down at all anymore, and every time Finland win the ball back, you just look at the Irish players look absolutely shattered right now.
Yeah, knackered, Nathan. They're 2 yards off everything now. They were a yard off everything in the first half, but there's probably 2 or 3 yards off it now. Exhausted.
Yeah, the back four and the three midfielders who've played the full 90 minutes. Was Stephen Kenny right to leave the three midfielders on? He's obviously changed his 3 front players.
I think there's a problem everywhere now. I wouldn't mind seeing maybe a couple of changes, maybe the likes of Coleman coming on, give us a little bit of energy.
We're done, Stewie.
Down this
right
hand side.
We're done for changes. Now Kamara. Oh, sloppy pass, but they get away from it. Robinson just couldn't get there. Now here is Jensen, who got that goal. Do you think he'll stick with Matt Doherty for the game against Slovakia?
Yeah, it's going to be a big talking point, isn't it? Obviously, it will depend.
Oh, terrible challenge from Arter on Pukki, but Pukki continues to the edge of the area. Space over on the right side for Alho. Alho onto his left foot, gets the shot off. Oh, what a save from Darren Randolph, who manages to somehow just push it over the top of the crossbar. Harry Arter deservedly goes into the book. Such a rash challenge, real cynical stuff there as Pukki first skipped away from the challenge at Duffy. Just threw himself in, 2-footed on Pukki, who did brilliantly to keep his footing. Picked a nice little ball out to Alho onto his left foot, and it looked as though it was about to nestle in the top corner, but a smashing save from Darren Randolph. Fingertips to just push it over the top of the crossbar.
Oh, it's a hell of a save, I have to say. I know Duffy's trying to last-ditch tackle come around there, but it's a wonderful save.
Corner kick taken, sent in over everybody's head. McLean will set off in chase. He might just let it bounce out of play, which he does, and it'll be a goal kick to the Republic of Ireland. 5 minutes left. Well, we had a late equaliser in Sofia on Thursday night. It'll be a nice habit to get into.
Certainly
scoring late goals.
Yep, and it is a habit. It is certainly a habit. It's it's an attitude. Never say die. You got to keep playing. I think we definitely will keep doing that. But just even in this situation, look where Doherty is here. This has been the real problem for us. No real option other than a lovely 70-yard diagonal ball, which he just did there.
Not a bad option. Now it goes to McLean on the left-hand side, brings it to the end line. James McLean. Oh, ball straight into the arms of the keeper again. His deliveries haven't been what you would want so far, James McLean. All 3 of them in on top of the Finnish goalkeeper. And the problem for Stephen Kenny now is he's not going to have any time with his players. They'll all head back to England first thing tomorrow morning. And then the game against Slovakia in a month's time is also on a Thursday, so he'll have 2 more training sessions before that game. And whereas there were definitely signs on Thursday night that he was getting his message across, well, this feels a little bit more same old from Ireland. And he's probably a bit frustrated as well that none of the 2 midfield threes that he's tried have really put their hands up to say, yeah, I got to start.
Yeah, I think that's what I'll take out of these 2 games as well, Nathan. There's a little bit of confusion now of who do you go with, who's best suited to play in those 3 roles. I have to say, I don't think anyone's really jumped out of the 3 roles, which is always a difficulty. It would be better if it would just be one. the fact that question marks remain over the 3 is a difficult one.
McGoldrick to Arthur on the edge of the Finland area. Heavy touch means he has to go back to Stevens. Back to Arthur again, onto his right foot. Tries to curl one in low and just curls it a yard to the right, and well saved in the end. That wasn't bad from Harry Arthur. Twice picked up a decent position. And some real intent from, once again, Bournemouth midfielder. Just taking a little bit of a deflection, but a corner kick now for Ireland. 2.5 minutes of normal time remaining. Down to our right-hand side, it's Robbie Brady who's going to take this. Could we get a repeat of Thursday night with Brady on to Duffy? Has Robinson there if he wants to go short. All 11 Finland players back inside their own penalty area. It'll be the left foot of Robbie Brady. Up he steps. In it goes. Shane Duffy goes up. Duffy with the header, and it's up onto the top and over the crossbar and lands on the netting above the finished goal. How close was that for Shane Duffy?
Oh, he's totally free as well, Nathan. He's absolutely disgusted with himself. He's got a free header here. You look at the goal he scored the other night. I mean, that's an easier chance for him. He's trying to head it back towards goal. I wonder if he had it just went for the near post, would have been a better option. That's a great chance for us. He's disgusted.
A big chance, and well, that's as I said, Shane Duffy has 4 international goals. He feels he should have about 14. In every game he seems to get at least one big opportunity, and was that Ireland's chance for an equaliser. Remember, Wales beat Bulgaria 1-0 today, so that's 2 1-0 victories for the Welsh ahead of them coming to Dublin next month. But that game will be straight after the playoff against Slovakia, so you wonder what sort of frame of mind or what sort of team Stephen Kenny will be picking for that. And this in all likelihood means that Ireland won't be finishing top of this group. Ryan Giggs side in a very good position. Lovely touches from Dave McGoldrick, but he's going backwards.
Yeah, but it's really good. Tight situation. He's just offloaded 2 players there, like really tight, good feet.
Arthur somehow summoning up some energy still. Forward to McLean, couple of quick 1-2s. There it is for Enda Stevens. McGoldrick over on the left hand side now of the area. Ireland starting to finish on the front foot now. Back it goes to Arthur, to McGoldrick, drills it in low towards McLean, headed clear, and then helped down by Jensen only as far as Arthur again and Malumbi. Malumbi goes back to Egan, being closed down by Pookie. Thought about going back from the halfway line to Randolph, instead goes up the left hand side to Stevens. McLean now in a little bit of space to bring it to the end line. Took the early option of sending the ball in straight off the head of Oyala, and McLean just let it bounce out of play for a throw in down by the corner flag. We're almost done. There can't be much injury time as Finland think about making a final substitution. Still Finland 0, Finland 1 to Republic of Ireland 0, but McLean inside the area. He had a chance there to pull it across. McGoldrick wanted it across the 6-yard box. Instead McLean looked to pull it back, and it was blocked by Finland and put out of play then as Finland go on the counter-attack by John Egan. And a last change, and it is Timo Pukki who will be replaced, and he's going to take the long stroll from the far side of the pitch. 4 minutes of injury time left at the end of this game. Ireland 0, Finland 1 here on Off the Ball. If you download the app, you'll get all the post-match reaction. We'll hear from Stephen Kenny and Shane Duffy after the game. We'll get Stewie's thoughts as well, and all that on OTB AM tomorrow morning from 7:30 then. Kenny Cunningham, Gary Breen and Stephen Ward will be giving their thoughts on the performance. And there will be a lot to talk about over the next month.
Stephen Kenny and Keith Andrews are on their feet there, just trying to rile the players for the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, Finland have it where they want it, deep inside the Ireland half, over on the far side of the pitch. Egan's down on his knees and does enough there to win the ball back off the substitute. Just come on, Karjalainen. Ireland is going to try and attack from up the left-hand side, but Karjalainen has a little bit of energy, and the Irish back four have very little at this stage. They go to Randolph inside his own 6-yard box, on to Duffy. Has Doherty on this near side, back to Duffy again. They need to be careful now, Ireland. They just need to get it up towards the halfway line where there are a few green jerseys. Drilled forward to Robinson, flicked on, now it might suddenly open up. Ireland have men forward. Dave McGoldrick, midway inside the Finland half, bringing it towards the edge of the area. Dave McGoldrick onto his right foot, and he toe pokes it towards the goal, and it's saved down low by Haratki. You can see what he was trying to do, just trying to drill it low, but didn't get the connection again. Dave McGoldrick, and it was a comfortable stop again by the Finland keeper.
I thought he should have given it to McLean, Nathan. You see McLean's done that little spin run around the back of him, gone down the outside, and McGoldrick's drawn all the players towards him, and McLean's on his favourite left foot, just a little offload. Instead he kind of pokes away a kind of a half shot. It was a wonderful move from Ireland, a great break. Came from us playing around their own box, played ourselves out of trouble. That's a positive to see, but just no end product at the moment. We just don't seem to have that cutthroat finish that we need.
Goals, such a big problem for Ireland. Shane Duffy, the only player to score more than a goal for Ireland in the last 3 years.
The worry is, Nathan, you don't want it to become a psychological thing either, to kind of get inside our heads that we just, we can't put the ball in the back of the net. We're creating the opportunities, just don't have that clinical finish.
92.5 minutes gone. There's only about 90 seconds remaining. Duffy looked to have a little nudge in the back. Harry Arter eventually manages to control it, and now comes to Enda Stevens. Is there time for one last attack? Ireland trailing Finland by 1-0. Arthur just inside the Finland half. Lots of white jerseys around him, and he can't pick out a green one. It was behind Dave McGoldrick, and back it goes to the feet of Harajki, and he'll drill it up to the halfway line, right on top of Shane Duffy. Calmly heads it down to Matt Doherty, right in front of his manager Stephen Kenny. And penny for his thoughts right now. This is not the start he imagined. Everyone thought this would be a new era, a different Ireland, but, well, some teething problems, to put it mildly.
Yeah, and a bit more worried about the performance in this game than the other game as well. So that's a worry. I thought we would have come on from the performance the other night. I was expecting us to be, a step better, a yard better, a yard quicker, and it's been the opposite, to be quite honest.
Ireland have it. We're into the final 30 seconds of the 4 minutes of injury time. Arter just inside his own half as Brady to his right instead checks back in and plays it low to Malumbi. Faded out of the game in the second half, Jason Malumbi. Again, maybe just struggling for a little bit of fitness at this stage. Ireland trying to find a way through 2 Finland players where there was just no space. Referee looks at his watch. Ireland midway inside the Finland half. Need to get it into the area quickly. Robbie Brady just behind Callum Robinson, straight to Kamara, skips around one challenge, and that is probably that as we tick past the 94th minute. Finland just with the ball up the right hand side with Karjalainen, forward to Jensen, the goal scorer. He looks as though he's going to be the match winner. Ireland have the ball on the edge of their own area, but surely this game is done. Maybe the referee's going to let them have one final opportunity. Arthur needs to get it forward quickly. Well into the 95th minute now. Robbie Brady has it. Out to the right-hand side it goes to Matt Doherty. They just need to launch it in there, which Doherty does. Duffy's gone up. Well, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Ireland finish a game with Shane Duffy in an attacking position. Still the referee doesn't blow his whistle, but now he does, and the Republic of Ireland have been beaten 1-0 by Finland. The Irish players fall to their feet. They are absolutely shattered, and the Stephen Kenny era, well, it has started in anything but dreamlike fashion. 1 point from 2 games and beaten on home soil. The only goal of the game coming from Fredrik Jansen 63 minutes into the game, just 19 seconds after he came on as a substitute, and this a most forgettable performance by the Republic of Ireland. Where there were bright sparks on Thursday night, there's very little positive to say about this, Stewie.
Very little positive to say, but you can see the players are absolutely devastated. We've got 3 or 4 players who've gone to the ground there, Matt, or Harry Arter, Shane Duffy on their back. Really, they look exhausted. Some of the other players are a little bit devastated. This is a real confidence blow for this team, you know, when you consider that we did this change of era, this new style of play, this new start, really, more than anything, has hit a real stumbling block. And it's just time for cool heads, for calm heads, and time to, you know, Stephen now has time over the next few weeks to kind of really address the issues that he feels are there. Obviously these players are all going to be back to club football next week, but the worry would be the fact that we haven't really improved from the other night. We've gone backwards. It's been a step backwards, Nathan, you know, and that would be the worry for me. We were talking about the possession stats in the first half. I think it was 57% in favour of Ireland. Not one for possession stats, but it didn't feel that way to me. Did you? To you? It just felt like Finland were slightly the better team. They were certainly the more clinical team. That's the one thing that Ireland lack, is just that putting the ball in the back of the net.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Stewie. So Ireland will head to Slovakia for that crucial playoff next month. Well, lacking in confidence, you would expect. They've been beaten here tonight by 1-0. Stay with us on otbsports.com and on the app for all the reaction to this game. And tune in tomorrow morning from 7:30 for OTB AM. We'll have reaction from Gary Breen, Kenny Cunningham and Stephen Ward. But from the Aviva Stadium, it's finished. The Republic of Ireland 0, Finland 1.
Yeah, disappointing start. Thanks, Nathan Murphy and Stuey Byrne for commentary there. Look, Finland had more space than Neil Armstrong. But I think people will be patient. Stephen Kenny just started his reign, but how much time does he get before we get into the critical analysis phase? The unfortunate thing for him is the next game is going to be a qualifier against Slovakia. So that's for the Euros. As Nathan was saying, OTB AM back from 7:30 tomorrow morning across all the social channels with Gary Breen, Kenny Cunningham and Stephen Ward reacting to the defeat to Finland. And we're back on FM tomorrow evening here on News Talk from 7 to 10 as usual. Talking History's up next. If you missed the Sunday paper review with Cliona Foley and David Jennings, or our rugby chat with James Downey and Cian Tracy, you can find the podcasts of them on our brand new OTB Sports app. Thanks for listening this afternoon. Speak soon. Bye-bye.
Give him a ball and he out of grass. He'll give you a move for the perfect pass. Give him a ball and he out of space.
Get the latest News Talk podcasts at newstalk.com and on the News Talk app.
When it comes to a burst pipe, a phone is the best tool to sort it. Just ring Liberty Insurance. Their 24-hour emergency home repair service has me covered without affecting my no-claims bonus. Switch now and get up to 5 weeks free on libertyinsurance.ie. Liberty Insurance. Ready for the real world.
Cover for up to €260 per call-out. Maximum 4 call-outs per year. 5 weeks free applies to new home policies only and equals a 10% discount. Maximum discount of €40 for buildings, €15 for contents and €55 for buildings and contents combined. Subject to minimum premiums and applied before optional covers. Acceptance criteria, terms and conditions apply. Liberty Seguros, Compañía de Seguros, Araya Seguros, S.A.A. trading as Liberty Insurance is authorised by the General Director of Insurance and Pension Funds in Spain and is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland for conduct of business rules.
In Ireland, we don't get a lot of sunshine, which means we probably don't get enough vitamin D. And that's why we